higher up, but apparently just
Knoxville, Iowa. Just your average small town with a population of 7,500. But when the lights come on, for 1 week, business booms, 700 ponies come to life, and the population quadruples with the granddaddy of them all. Knoxville Raceway, they're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses, a man and machine. When the green waves, it's time for business. Street, Spangler, showtime, the Knoxville Nationals are green. The dirt slings, positions trade. Drama can commence at any tick. Oh my goodness! And you never know who wins until it's over. It's the granddaddy of them all. The biggest event of the year in the Coast to Coast Racing League. The third annual Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals, and it's next. It's the granddaddy of them all. It's the biggest race in the Coast to Coast Racing League as we honor the late Mike Westbrook. A good one around the corner. The third annual Mike Westbrook Memorial here at the Knoxville Raceway, the spring car capital of the world in Knoxville, Iowa. Just 1 week before the non-energy drink Knoxville Nationals take place in the world of outlaws. Kyle Moon and then Patrick Spangler are the previous champs of the biggest race in the Coast to Coast Racing League. Can Spangler become a two-time winner of this one? Or will we see our third different winner? We're moments away from finding out. So glad you could join us, everyone, here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala joined alongside Brandon Dittmer, Zach Chapman, Dean Reynolds, Brett Wheeler. They will all be racing at some point tonight, and we'll talk with them throughout the program. I'll begin with you, Brandon. You're a hometown Iowa native. What's it mean to be racing in the biggest race near your home track?
You know, I've always loved Knoxville. ever since this latest build, I just haven't been able to wrap my head around it. But hopefully, I can get that changed tonight. Been on kind of a cold streak lately, but starting 6th in the B main tonight, so hopefully we can get something going. Tried a little bit of things out earlier, and I'm pretty happy with my car right now.
Zach Chapman, we had qualifying earlier throughout the week, 3 days of qualifying. From your perspective, how was it, and what could we see that transitions over to tonight?
Since we got this new tire build, I'll tell you what, we had 2 wide racing. You could make the bottom work. You know, you necessarily couldn't drive it in this hard, but you can make it work coming off. And we had a lot of good racing, and I was fortunate enough to race my way in last night in the Hard Knocks race. So I'll be racing here later in the A main.
Brett Wheeler, our Thursday night broadcaster regularly, making his debut with me in the broadcast booth as the producer. Good morning, Brett. So what we have seen here so far, one of the big stories as well, I should say, coming on in, the track state. The track state going to be at a random amount for all the Alphabet Super events, but when we come to feature time, the state's at 50%.
Yeah, look, it's going to be, once, with these pre-gen tracks, we're expecting the track to widen up. It's going to take a little bit more to run in, obviously, with the new build and what we've seen. So, the track holds a lot more moisture in. So, look, I'm expecting, over the 47 lap feature, it's going to be pretty slick from top to bottom, and you're going to have that throttle control if you're going to have any chance to sort of win in this event.
And we will be watching the Alphabet Soup really closely. Nearly done last year by Stephen Gollner. From near the bottom all the way to the top, he didn't start the race via provisional. Dean Reynolds will be pulling some Alphabet Soup. Dean, someone has done it real life in the past, and you actually put a reward up last year to whoever.
Yeah, I did it because I remember in 1991 when Doug Wolfgang did it from the D main all the way to the Knoxville Nationals, and I said, you know what, let's put up some money, and if no one gets it, then we'll donate to charity. And it's funny, when I put it up, Goldner private messaged me and says, I want your money. And he almost did. I think he just had an unfortunate incident there, or else I think he would have.
Absolutely. So we get set to go here. Here's the sprint car capital of the world, packed with 25,000 fans, and there you get a good look at the Rib Shack. I will be headed there for dinner on Tuesday. But as we take a look at the state of the track here currently at the moment, with practice happening, Dino is currently the quickest. Dean has a 15:22. Dean, by the way, just a heads up, I think you are echoing on my end.
Yeah, I got the sound turned up. When I go racing, I want to make sure I can hear Roger and stuff.
Gotcha.
So let me turn it down for now, and then I'll turn it right back up. I'm sorry.
That's good. You're good. No worries. So. But anyway, alphabet order going to look like this. We've got the D main, followed by a C main, a B main, and our feature. So also, we do have a starting lineup full of, just to confirm on our end, of 24 drivers here. So just a heads up on our end, 24 drivers will start. However, though, there are 2 provisionals open that are available for $50, a veterans provisional, a volunteer provisional, and also we have an auction winner. For more info on that, make sure you go to the Coast to Coast Racing League Facebook page if you want details. So our D main set to go here. The call was for 13 drivers. We have 6 with us, and we are taking, I believe, the top 4. Yes, 4 cars will transfer out of each session, so 2 drivers are headed home early. The D main starts at 20% at a track state. Here is how they line up. Bill Calder starts on the pole position. He is next to the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row number 2, it's John Rayner. JR is in the 302. Cullen Johnson's in the 13. Rounding out the field in row number 3, Dean Reynolds in the 79, and Brad Waite in the 814.
Go get him, Dino.
So here we go, guys. Alphabet Soup about to begin for the Knoxville Nationals. And it starts to get tense here for the drivers that make their way onto the clay, Brandon.
Yeah, every position is going to matter. It's only 6 of them before go, but they're going to be battling about as hard as they can. And I already saw Dean trying to do some wheelies on the backstretch there, so let's hope he doesn't tear his car up.
Yeah, biggest race of the year. You don't want to be doing that, tearing your car before you even take the green flag. There's Dino. Trying to give the fans a little bit of a show early on. Can he do it? Oh, he's trying. Ooh.
He's doing something right if he's getting airtime for
Yes.
those sponsors.
He looks a lot like whenever I see those wheelies too, and Dean, and this is a tradition ever since the new dirt package. It reminds me a lot of Ramon from Cars.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
How he's got how his car is able to move up and down. So, but anyway, ready to go here for our first of 4 races this evening. This is the D main top 4 transfer, bottom 2. They're headed to Dingus a little bit early tonight. Bill Calder, Greg Parmalee, bring us to green. The D main is underway. Colin Johnson looks to work his way up on the outside. It's 3 wide for the second position for just a moment. Johnson and Parmalee go Hoosier to Hoosier. Entering turn number 3. Wait 4th, Rayner 5th. Dean Reynolds rounds out the 6th position. 3 wide for second. Lap 1 is led meanwhile by Bill Calder. Johnson's got a run here, Zach, in turn 2 for second.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see guys be aggressive right now. The track hasn't really widened out much yet, so I bet you, all these guys are pretty much hammered down right now. So you got to try to pass while people are closing. You see people get aggressive as we see Dean look to the bottom, try to make something happen.
Oh, look out. Calder goes around and collects Parmalee in the process, but he saves it. And Calder's got damage hard to the wall. We stare at the green flag. His night in the Knoxville Nationals is likely done. 3 laps are complete. Keep in mind here, Brett, something that we normally don't see often in preliminary races, caution laps do count for the DC and B main.
Yeah, that's very crucial, especially once you get under a yellow, you're going to lose 3 laps. So it's crucial for these guys on the racetrack right now to, excuse me, to keep this race going green. And I'm sure that Colin Johnson right now, he's smiling down, knowing that he's got 1.5 second lead over Brett Wade.
Great start for the driver of the number 13. Normally an asphalt driver, he is having some fun so far in the process. Second currently Brad Wade, third Dean Reynolds, 4th is John Rayner, a 1.5 second lead on Greg Parmalee. I think, oh yeah, look at that right front there, Brandon, on Parmalee. I think when his car impacted the ground, it broke the toe in or dented that right front sneaker.
Yeah, she's definitely a little wonky there, and that's gonna mess you up in the long run. But hopefully, he's really keeping it there, but he's a little too far back, unfortunately, right now. Maybe try to pull something together.
Let's watch the best race on the track here. Brad Waite and Dean Reynolds, the battle for the second spot. And of course, 1 position up means everything here, Zach, when it comes to starting in the back of the C main.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because, I mean, yeah, smaller field in this one, a lot of the guys, some of the guys that were in the list, they just donated to be nice. But here, when we go into the C, we're going to have more cars. Every position matters, you're only going to get, 15 laps, I think, in that race, so you got to go. You got to get everyone now.
Absolutely. As we come to 2 laps to go, all Colin Johnson from lap 2 onward as Bill Calder had led the opening circuit in the D main. A 2.3 second advantage on Brad Wade, and he is running away from the cops here, Brett Miller.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's exactly what Colin Johnson wants. He wants to get out in front, and with only 1 lap left to run, he's only basically got half a mile to go. So, I mean, he's already down the back stretch into 3 and 4. So Colin Johnson actually going to move on, and well, that's a good start for Colin Johnson as he picks up the D main win.
Yep, Colin Johnson takes the win. Brad Wade 2nd, Dean Reynolds 3rd, John Rayner finishes 4th. They will move on to the C main. Greg Parmalee and Bill Calder, they are headed to Dingus just a little bit early tonight. So here's a look at your full D main results on your screen. Get them popped up on our end.
Winner up the booth.
That's a tough break for Bill there in that, too. Hats off to him as a driver, because I got to be honest with you, if I get in an accident on lap 3, I may be parking that there for a caution.
So there's your D main results. We will talk with Colin Johnson here in just a moment. Dean, how'd your car feel real quick while we're at it, as we're waiting for Colin to come in?
I'm struggling. I'm not quite sure. I think a couple laps there I was faster than Brad, but And then I just, I got in underneath him and got too sideways, and I gotta work on something here. I gotta find a little more speed.
Absolutely. Let's bring in Colin Johnston here, our D main winner. Colin, how's your car feel at the moment? You know, you made your way up past 3 other guys for starting for the 4th position. However, though, it's not going to be an easy road to advance to the C main.
Yeah, I just first I want to apologize with the contact with Bill. I don't know if he slid up in the mirror. I pinched him a little bit, but sucks that he ended up losing a lot of spots there. But yeah, I feel like the car is pretty hooked up. We'll see how the next track setting is though, and see if I end up needing to make some adjustments or not here.
Colin, it's all good. We just looked at a replay. Calder had hit the berm and then came up. So, but we can tell you this: the C main track progress will begin at 30%, if that helps.
Ooh.
So who do you want to give shout-outs to, Colin, on the race car?
I want to give shout outs to Team Watson Racing Setups, Zaz Designs for the scheme, and Amory and Johnston Mechanical Contractors, as well as you guys up here in the booth, and Roger and everyone who puts on everything in this league.
Alrighty, Colin. Great job. Best of luck in the C main.
Yep, thank you.
So Colin Johnston getting ready to go. With that being said, we will take our first break of the evening. We've got some words here from Roger Craig as well as the president of the Steve King Foundation. We'll step aside. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Roger Craig here. On behalf of the Coast to Coast Racing League, the Steve King Foundation, and the Westbrook family, I just want to thank everybody, all the drivers, the ladies, the kids that made this event a total success. A huge shout out to DWR Automotive, the Westbrook family, and the Turnbull family for their generous donations, along with teams and businesses that have contributed either money or door prizes just to make it a spectacular event. Can't thank everybody enough. Want to thank the admins, everybody behind the scenes making this event happen. In particular, want to thank the Steve King Foundation for converting all the money that we donate into helping drivers and their families in times of need. Just want to thank all the sponsors. You'll see them coming up in a second. Great job, everybody. A huge thank you.
Good afternoon, drivers and race fans. Hey, I'd like to take a moment on behalf of the Steve King Foundation to thank all the drivers for participating and all of our great sponsors for participating in the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Also want to thank EWR Automotive, the Westbrook and Turnbull families, as well as Coast to Coast Racing League for all their support in hosting the event. It was a great event for the Steve King Foundation, and we appreciate the support. Thank you.
Are you listening? Are you missing me like I'm missing you? This just can't be true. Did you have to leave so soon?
When Steve died, the outpouring of love across the country was amazing. We realized we were in a position that no racing family wants to be in. The good that was coming out of that was that these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation is important to me. It keeps Steve present in what we all do and what we all love, and that's racing.
My favorite memory of Steve was just how nice of a guy he was and how genuine he was.
I'm just sure that Steve would be very honored and thankful for the foundation and how it's honoring his name and all the good that the foundation does.
You go to a racetrack on Saturday, nobody expects to come out of there hurt. Unfortunately, sometimes it does happen. And thankfully we got people like the King family and everybody that's involved with the Steve King Foundation to help these families.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and the Stephen King Foundation reached out to me and told me that they had a check. I was absolutely floored. I just thought that they did this for drivers or crew members that got injured. You know, racing, they always say racing's like a big family.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal. I mean, it's kind of inspired me to start my own foundation within racing.
There was such a caring family, and they wanted to help others, and being able to just be associated with them, to carry on his name, to help other racers and their families to survive in the sport that we love so much has just been a real honor for me.
The thing that gets lost in translation is, yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. C-Main is just a couple moments away from beginning. We currently have 9 drivers in at the moment. Again, so glad you all could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Mario Scala with you alongside Brandon Dittmer, Brett Wheeler, Dean Reynolds, and Zach Chapman. While we are at it, we currently have 30 viewers watching live here, so let's know who you're rooting for in the chat. Hello to Joe Canellis, who is rooting for Bill and John. Kevin Fry rooting for Greg Parmalee. Unfortunately, he will not be in the feature. And GJ Boydell says, let's go retreads, Bill and John. Well, we've got a couple more retreads here in the C-Main coming up in just a little bit. While we are at a couple of things we'd like to share, one thing we'd like to share with you as well. I'd like to give a special thanks to our sponsors that provided door prizes for us here for our charity event. Raven Graphics provided 2 hero cards, Young Gun Creations 2 wraps, Velocity Race Design a wrap, 22-1 Designs a wrap, Random Design Paint Services a wrap, CSR Cinematography a photo package, Butler Bullet Cinematography a photo package, an ABR setup shop with a $30 gift certificate. Here those are our door prizes. We will announce the winners in a little bit. We'll announce them between the C and the B main. We'd like to also share with you a couple of pictures of the members of our Coast to Coast Kids Club sent to us. Actually, I should say a couple of Rainers sent to us. The first one by Bradley Rayner, and she also ran in our kids race on Monday night. Awesome job by her in her race. Our second scheme by Devin Rayner. And our third scheme by Matea Rayner. I have a good feeling that one of these paint schemes may be used by Roger Craig in the future, and they all did such a darn good job with them.
Sounds like Grandpa needs to buy 2 more sim rigs for the next kids race fair.
Possibly. So, but anyway, while we are at it, practice underway for the C main, and let's give you the best start to the belongs to the 70 of Mike Cranmer with the lone 15-second lap. The 15.98 again, as we mentioned before we went to break. The track state will be at 30%, so it should provide some interesting racing. So Dean, you said when you first got on the 30% track state, you could feel it a lot different, and that the track is starting to get bumpier on the outside line.
Yeah, I got more comfortable as I did more laps. I got 17 laps in, but man, when I went out there, you can flat-foot it in the corners, but boy, the car can start spinning its tires a little bit. So now, I think a feathering is going to be part of the deal here if you want to keep the car straight coming off the corners.
Absolutely, that could be a possible thing. Now, 9 drivers currently in our car count at the moment. Our C main calls for 12 drivers, so just waiting on 3 other drivers. But one of the guys, Brandon, I am watching out for very closely is the return of one man to a coast-to-coast event, and that of course is Devo Donovan Ross in the O2.
Where has Devo been, man? I've missed Devo running with him. He's such a good racer.
He was on a sabbatical, I guess you can call it.
Yeah, he's been on sabbatical for a little while.
Yeah. He was put in a corner and felt shame.
Yeah, I feel bad for Devo. I apologize that Jack hit last night in my interview, but it was Devo who I turned when we were racing on the bottom there for third, and it's not for me. He might already be in this thing tonight, so hopefully he can race his way up into the show.
If there's a guy that can come from the sea and I'll go all the way through, it'll be Devo.
Devo's got a chance, that's for sure. Heck, he's normally hanging out across from the track like all the time.
Well, he says he does. He stiffed me last year, so we're gonna see what he can do this year.
Hey, by the way, while we are at it, let's talk about it. Next week, of course, the Knoxville Nationals, and we have a coast-to-coast racing league meet and greet coming up next week. A lot of us going to be at the Knoxville Nationals, so if you are coming out and making the trip, come say hi to us. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. Making a lot of trips throughout the area. Roger mentioned it in, I believe, in his interview or in his thank you. We're going to the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and presenting a check to the Steve King Foundation that we're very excited for. We're going to go check out all the racing, go check out all the food places like Rib Shack. I don't know if Dingus has food. All I see are drinks, and that's it.
It's all those drinks over there.
Well, you can always drink beer at the church too, right, Dittmer?
It's also right.
Yes.
Or you can come hang out at my camper out at Slideways and drink beer with me there. So.
Let's look at Roger Craig in the 747, the Dylan Westbrook scheme lookalike. Speaking of which, we will actually have between the B and A mains, we actually have an interview with Dylan Westbrook coming up, talking a lot about Mike Westbrook and
they just advanced there, Marty.
So, alrighty, you just heard it. We are ready for the C main. And so with that being said, 11 drivers set to go. Let's meet the field. Here is the starting lineup. On the pole position, Mike Cranmer in car number 70. Next to him, it's John Rayner in the 302. Nope, actually, I think we have that wrong. Nope, Our grid was messed up on our end. It's Donovan Ross that starts from the pole position. Next to him is Mike Cranmer. Row number 2, Brian Lawson in car number 9 and Bob DeGood in the number 7. Row number 3, it's the Bass Man, Roger Craig in the 747 and Pat Boyce in the 41. Row number 4, Gary Offfoot in the 94 and Cullen Johnston in car number 13. Rounding out the top 10, it's Brad Waite in the 814. Next to Dean Reynolds in the 79, and rounding out the grid, it's John Rayner, JR's in the 302. Top 4 will move on to the last chance showdown. And again, the lap lengths increase each and every time. Our B main tonight is set for 22 laps. The the D main was just 12 laps a couple moments ago. I believe the C main, you see it on your screen, it's scheduled for 15 circuits. And we go one more lap until we go green flag racing. Brandon, one of the guys I'm watching out for here as well, not just Donovan Ross, but he's a modified regular, Brian Lawson in the Steve King Foundation number 9 ride. He normally doesn't race sprints with us, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. It's also a center steer car, but a lot faster.
Yeah, he's also part of MNM Racing, so he's got Isaac and them all down there working with him. Isaac's been doing great in sprint car lately, especially since it drives more like a modified, so he might be able to do it really well here. Hopefully he can move on.
About to see what happens here in this C main. Top 4 move over to the last chance qualifier. Devo and Cranmer bring us to green. The C main is on. 4 wide for 3rd position. That's tight. Mike Cranmer gets away. Still 4 wide for a moment. Pat Boyce let off of it. Gary Offa nearly sends it into turn number 3 off of 4. Devo leads lap number 1, followed by Lawson, Mike Cranmer, Roger Craig into the final transfer spot, Zach.
Yeah, Roger Craig did what he had to do there. Bold move, making it almost 4 wide there, coming out of 2 on lap 1, but he's in the transfer spot and he's going for 3rd right now.
Craig with the run underneath on Brian Lawson. Bob DeGood also looks to close in as they're wing to wing into turn number 1 on board with Bob DeGood. Tries to get the run on the outside, but that high side, Brett, a little bit bumpy as you see on the onboard. Lawson, though, shuts the door.
Yeah, that's one thing that these drivers have to contend as well. You know, although it looks slick, you don't want to be upstairs near the guardrail up on the outside because it is very bumpy. And I think right now the place is big, and not many people are going down there. Keep an eye on anyone that can run the bottom. If they keep their cars to the bottom of that inside berm, they're going to be very, very quick in this lane.
Quickest car on the racetrack is Devo at a 16:25. Also have some good racing on track. Everyone single file. The best races Lawson and Boyce for the 5th position. Come to the start finish line. 10 laps to go in our C Consi. But everyone just staying patient right now at the moment. Oh, look out, we got contact. And that is Gary Offa and Brad Way. And John Rayner also involved. The first yellow flag is out tonight in the Knoxville Nationals. So it was Brad Waite that caught the big piece of it, and he has got a lot of damage on the left side and on the top wing of the 814. John Rayner also collected in it too. Here's a look at what happened. Waite and Offa were battling for position. They just slightly hooked. And right in front of Rayner, Dino takes a big aggressive move to miss it. Wild Wreck breaks out. We've got a speed shot set up thanks to Trackcams by Gourmet. That'll give us a good angle of what happened off turn 2. Heavy impacts. Let's ride on board with John Rayner. Wheelie. Luckily as well, all the drivers do have a quick repair that they'll be able to use. For the heat race. $32 viewers watching on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and the Slide Job Racing Network. Let's see if we can push that up to 35 before we hit the checkers. So lights are off, set to go back to the green flag this time by. As the lights are off, the Steve King Foundation pace truck. Double file restart coming up here. Go ahead.
You people out there watching too, you know, if you like what you see and you want to help the cause, feel free to, you know, you can always go to our website, C2CRL, and you'll see the donation link for the Stephen King Foundation. It's a great organization, and they can always use it.
Absolutely. So Donovan Ross and Mike Kramer set to bring us back to the green flag here. As Devo is the control car for this restart, back to green, 9 laps to go in the C main. Remember the top 4 transfer, and there's a change for 4th. Bob DeGood past Brian Lawson. He's on the outside of his fellow retread, but up in the wall goes the 7. That costs him some time. Lawson for 4th. They bang! Head on in the wall goes Brian Lawson. DeGood loses the top wing, and the yellow flag does not fly. We stay under the green flag for now, and look who is in a transfer spot. Dean Reynolds looking to get past Gary Offutt. Offutt looks for the slider, and Reynolds is up in the wall hard. He's lost the top wing as well. Oh my goodness. All heck is breaking loose here as we're on lap number 9. Brett's in 3rd, Gary Offutt is in 4th. Brandon Dittmer, what on earth did we just see?
Just a bunch of guys race for the same real estate, and obviously it turns ugly here, especially wanting to get into that B main, but you just gotta know when to give something up and try to fight for it back later.
Now this could get interesting. Let's see here. Gary Offutt's got some front end damage. However, though, Rayner and Waite are racing each other for the 5th position. Could possibly close on an offer here, but there's 5 laps to go, Brett.
Brett's not in here anymore.
Yeah, I think Brett had a little computer issues. I see he manually disconnected. So, yeah, I don't know. Brett, he finally got around him, and Brett's quick here. I think we may have a battle for 4th here before this race is over.
This is Roger Craig and Mike Cranmer for the 2 spot, coming to 3 laps to go here. And our C main Offutt, though, starts to close in on the Bass man. He thinks about moving the long way around. Just wants to stay patient for right now at the moment.
Yeah, he does want to stay patient, but the guy behind him is coming, Marty. He's got to go.
And Gary caught the wall here. Brandon Waite's got a chance for this final transfer spot. He is coming fast.
Yeah, especially with that tap of the wall, he's going to lose a lot of momentum, and Brad's going to make it all worth it right here. He's coming around the outside.
Oh! Gary gave him a lane, 1 lap to go. Who's going to make it into the B main? Offutt throws the slider at Brad Waite. The 814 counters it back. Down the back straight for one final time here in the C main. Waite throws in the slider from hell. Coming into through 3 and 4. Offutt looks to fight it back and at the line. Brad Waite makes it into the B main. From the D to the B.
Out of nowhere, boys.
A great last lap.
Donovan Ross wins the C main by 1.3 seconds on Mike Cranmer. Roger Craig and Brad Waite will advance into the last chance showdown. Oh baby, this is starting to get good. So look at the race results while we are at it. Donovan Ross the winner, Mike Cranmer 2nd, Roger Craig 3rd, Brad Waite 4th. Unfortunately for Gary Offutt, John Rayner, Colin Johnston, Dean Reynolds, Bob DeGood, Brian Lawson, and Pat Boyce, they are headed to Dingus just a little bit early. And so this gives us an opportunity to bring in Donovan Ross if he is still in the Discord. Yes, he is. We'll pull him up right now.
You got to let me apologize to him, Marty.
Possibly, we'll see. But Devo, first off, welcome back. Where in the world have you been?
Well, just, busy work summer. Let's put it at that. It's work season.
All righty. Well, how's your car feeling? And with a 10% increase in the track stake coming up, just overall, how are you feeling about it?
Feeling okay. I've been offline so long. I haven't really, my qualifying night was the first time I'd driven the new program here. So it's been a handful. So had a good run last night. Zach and I got together a little bit, and so we're eating a little soup tonight.
Zach, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I brought you up on the broadcast, Devo. There, I apologized to Jack Hit last night like a dummy, thinking that was who I turned. I'm sorry for doing that. I didn't realize you were going to run the middle bottom there, and I got too aggressive going in the corner. So I'm rooting for you. I'm your biggest fan here in the B main, Devo.
Yeah, there's nobody. It was a good test for my muffler, my new and improved C2C don't key up mic muffler. So it worked out. It worked out pretty good. But I tell you what, I let the guys in the room have it. But yeah, I knew that you just had a run on the bottom there, and I was just trying to figure we'd take top 4 and head up to the beer garden. But it's all good, buddy. No problems. I've been the bug, and I've also been the window.
Well, Devo, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Oh, you got to thank Greg and Gary and Brian. Those guys, they've been helping me get up to speed, and Roger for taking my dumb ass back into the league, glutton for more punishment, and yeah, Dean. I'm old. Dean, I drink beer in the morning up to like 12, and then I don't drink beer in the evening. You guys want to go out late at night? I can't do that stuff.
Hey, I'm old, fat, and have a heart condition. You got to hang one night, man. One night.
Yeah, well, it ain't this year, buddy.
Well,
congrats, bro.
We will let
Keep on going on soup, man.
Yeah.
Get that soup going.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Absolutely. Best of luck in the B main.
Thank you.
Well, one guy could be pulling some alphabet soup here tonight, and it could be Brad Waite. Up 5 spots, and that one, he's got a chance to possibly make the feature. Can he do it? Will we do it? We'll find out in just a bit after you hear these words from our sponsors. We'll step aside here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. The B main is coming up next.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat. Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
For Lucy Olson, she has her first point. Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Whoops.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Yes, we came right on as Dean said, whoops.
I saw poor Steven go on the wall.
But anyway, getting set to go for the Last Chance Showdown. Before we begin the Last Chance Showdown, we talked about the door prizes that we were giving out. Again, special thanks to Raven Graphics, Young Gun Creations, Velocity Race Designs, 2-1 Designs, Random Design Paint Services, CSR Cinematography, Butler Bullet Cinematography, and ABR Setup Shop. Here are the door prize winners in the specific order. Our first door prize winner is Donovan Ross, so just came off a C win. He gets the first door prize. Second door prize is Cole Ferguson. Third door prize, driver 31, Brandon Templeton. The fourth door prize goes to the mayor, Steve Bixler. Fifth door prize goes to the driver of the number 4, Greg Parmalee. Sixth door prize goes to the 518 of 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. The seventh door prize goes to the driver of the number 87, the General, Andy Patton. The eighth door prize goes to the driver of the 127, the Big Panther, Jesse Atkinson. The ninth door prize goes to the driver of the 302, John Rayner. And the final door prize goes to your pole sitter for the Knoxville Nationals, the 27 of Chad Griggs. So congratulations to all of those for door prize, that won a door prize. And I hope you enjoy what you take home with you. But B-Main is coming up next, and this one should be a dandy ears out.
Yeah, I mean, you watched that race in the C main. You saw Brad, fight his way up. He's going to be a big story in this one. We're going to see if he can do it again here. But you got all these good drivers fighting for 4 spots to join us in the A main. They're going to hang it out all on the line. This is going to be good.
Absolutely. Dean, who you got your eye on here this meeting?
Even though he likes to wuss out of drinking beer at noon and all that stuff and everything else, and still doesn't want to see me, even though I come to his land, I'm gonna pull for Devo. But you also got to pull for Brad Waite. I mean, because he came from the D main as well, and let's watch those two. At least my eyes will.
I'm gonna keep my eye on closely on 2 other guys. The first one is the Spider Monkey and Brandon Dittmer.
He's a good-looking dude. I keep my eye on him too.
Don't curse me like that, Marty. Don't curse me.
The Spider Monkey is getting ready to go. And then the other guy I'm watching out for, he actually just joined the session. That's the 217 Gentleman Jack Hit. I feel like Jack could be a big underdog to make the Knoxville Nationals.
I think Jack is going to be a sleeper because with this track at 30% and 22 laps, Jack likes slick track. I think that might play right into his hands.
Actually, this track is even better for him. It's at 40%.
Yeah, and last night in that Hard Knocks race, Jack missed, he finished 5th. He missed the show by about half a car length there at the line. So, I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Here's a look at the general. Andy Patton, currently quickest in hot laps here. Best time is 16:05. 600's better than the driver of the 70, Mike Cranmer. Oh man, if we saw somebody go from whether it be a D to A or a C to A, whatever it be, if somebody makes the Knoxville Nationals feature from the bottom 2 consies, it's going to be an awesome story.
And one tired puppy.
Absolutely. Maybe one tired kitty too.
Where is my kitty?
Yeah, where is Buddy?
There's Buddy. He was right on the other side of the screen. I don't know where he went.
What's Buddy up to?
Oh, he's in the window. He's in the window.
Oh, he's in the window.
He's in the window.
We'll bring you all back into the booth here as we're just all set to go here. You can see Brandon driving the
My
car.
God, he's sawing on the wheel. What are you doing over there? You all right?
I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
Fair enough. I looked over there and he's like going like this, like this, like that, like this.
Sideways straight.
So, Brandon and Dean, Brandon, I understand as well there is another race happening outside of the Knoxville Nationals, and it's happening at Slideways, and you've been talking about it a lot. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Yes. Out at Slideways, Thursday and Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Dean, I know that's early for you.
Oh.
You're going to be there. You're going to be there.
I'll have to stay up all night.
Then you're going to have to stay up all night, but you're going to be there. Thursday, Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Slideways Mini Nationals. There's $50 to enter. Thursday is qualifying. Friday is the finale. They got some brand new trophies this year, and they're going to look amazing. They look amazing on their picture on their website or on Facebook if you want to go check it out. Make sure you sign up. We want to get this thing as full as possible, if not completely filled. I believe the cap is at about 50 or 60 entries, and we haven't been nearly towards that in the last couple of years, and we want to get that ramped up.
Well, I'll have it later in 8, and you'll get more entries.
If I get enough sleep, guys, I will be there.
I can't wait to see you, Marty.
I could do the Thursday morning, but the problem is that the party outside Turn 4 is Thursday night. So Friday would be a little rough.
Dean, you can come crash at my RV, and you can walk up to the track from my camp.
I'll just make Isaac stay sober and make him drive.
That's evil. But
well,
no, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely it will. Let's take a look at chat here. Andy Patton, who was excited to see Devo win that C main, and hello to Doyle Lawrence. Says good luck to all the drivers out there. We appreciate you tuning in. And we have hit 35. We're at 36 viewers at the moment. Now let's see if we can push to 40 by the end of the B main.
If Megan was at a Godsmack concert, she'd be watching.
Oh yeah, Godsmack's in Syracuse, right?
Yeah, yep, she's there.
Favorite Godsmack song, everyone?
Voodoo.
I like, I got two. When Legends Rise and Bullet.
I tell you, I am watching Mike Kramer, and like you said, Zach, that car is dead straight. I mean, it's not twitching, it's not doing. Man, I'd give anything to have that set up. Holy cow!
Yeah, I mean, you know, nothing against anybody, but I mean, Preston said it last night, or maybe the night before in his interview. He said, "Give all the credit in the world to Blake Chapman." I don't know what he figured out or what he did, but you could see Blake. He was smooth on the bottom or the top, and you're watching Mike do the same thing. I mean, he's got that thing hooked up. Blake's going to be some trouble tonight.
I just watched Mike go right around the outside of Jeffrey Kemper.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I'm sure he is, but with the way that thing's hooked up, it doesn't even look like he's coming out of the gas tank.
No, it's. But again, that's what the new build is. You know, that's what's interesting about it. I mean, you know, in the 358s and big blocks, I still don't feel comfortable, but for some reason, I seem to race better. I just don't know why. I can't put my finger on it.
So just a heads up here, guys. We will be beginning the B main at 8 p.m. As you see, 11 drivers are on the racetrack. We're just waiting for 3 more guys to show up.
Well, a couple of guys came in that are not supposed to be here, but Isaac's connecting, Stacey Elmore's connecting.
Yeah, we need Jared Turnbull, Kyle Sargent, and Jason Butterfield.
For you, they'll show up when they're spectating.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I'm in as a.
They won't.
Yep.
They won't show up on my end.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have the user interface loaded up. I have just the entire set.
Yeah, where is Butters? Let me see if he's in the Venom Discord. There's a party going on in Inferno.
Yeah, the Inferno Discord. There are a lot of people going on.
Ah, yes, Joseph Grandy, Andy.
No, Butterfield's not in Venom, so he must have something going on where he can't run, probably.
Brad Wade, Stacey Elmore, and
Now we got Brian Moore Sr., Brian Moore Jr., and Craig Pomerly, who are nice, clean-cut gentlemen, soft-spoken, well-manicured, and then he got Devo. And they got Devo.
I am glad I could help Devo test his muffler out, though. That was, you know, if I was going to turn him, at least that was a test somehow.
yeah, and Kemper though racing on the track. Well, I guess I'll ask you guys this though too. I know it's not next week, but I want to hear you guys' picks for real life Knoxville.
I'm going with Rico right now. He's one of the hottest guys, no matter where he goes. And I mean, you know, he's definitely got the car there with Ricky Warner. He knows what he's doing, how to set that thing up. I think Rico's got to be one of the favorites.
That's a good choice on Rico. I'm gonna go with Logan Schuhart just because of all the hype he's got right now. Coming off the outdoor love to see Brandon Ordine.
Dean, go ahead.
Well, 360 Nats, because I got to say that because I'm leaving tomorrow at 3 o'clock to go there. I'm going to pick Aaron Reitzel. And for the Knoxville Nats, I'm going Gravel. Butterfield just messaged he won't be there tonight, so. Yeah, I don't know if Dimmer, if you want to maybe mic up in game and just let him know Butterfield won't be coming. So they don't have to wait.
Oh, my end game voice chat is muted.
Zach just did it. There you go.
What'd you do? I muted it for the DNC main, so I didn't have that in my ears.
Yeah.
Who's your pick, Dimmer?
I like to say I like Dean's 360 pick, especially when he's got my paint. Or I got Reitzel's paint scheme on. I'll go with him.
Well, that's why I went over there.
But Dean stole my pick. David Gravel, man, when he's really good at Knoxville, and when he doesn't have an engine issue, he is usually one of the if not the fastest guy out there.
I think if Rico wins, the place will be going nuts.
There's going to be
but
an earthquake in Knoxville.
The one guy that's due, and I don't know, he's got to get one before he retires, dies, quits, whatever. It's got Brian Brown. Yeah, he's yeah.
I don't think Brian's got it in him to go against all those outlaw guys.
Yeah, it's just but it's tough.
Isn't Macaro going to be in a special ride? Isn't he driving for someone here?
Which one? There's 30 of them. Yeah, it's 30 of them.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know. Well, a lot of them do good wraps. They do a lot of special wraps, and I'm waiting to see what like Shots does and stuff like that.
Yeah, same.
There's only been a few that have been publicized so far, but maybe they'll do it this week or next week.
I'm just wondering now if it's going to be a tradition after how Donnie Shot celebrated last year. I wonder if it's going to be a tradition now to spray chase around with the
It just advanced there, Marty.
Awesome. So B-Main getting set to go here. We have 11 drivers ready to go racing. Let's check and see if the actual starting lineup is working here. And I believe it is. So here's how they line up. It's the General Andy Patton on pole position. Next to him is Jeff Kemper in the 181. Row number 2, the captain, Gary Taylor in the 34. Next to the Bruton Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row number 3, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Next to the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. Row 4, Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. And Devo Donovan Ross in the 02. Rounding out the top 10, it is Mike Cranmer in car number 70. And next to him, the Bass Man, Roger Craig in the 747. Rounding out the field, Brad Waite in the 814. That's the starting lineup for the B-Main. We'll see if this goes right to the green flag or if they'll take one extra pace lap here. But 22 laps. We'll know our final 4 drivers in the starting lineup. They will start from positions 17th through 20th. We figured out rows 11 and 12 last night at Hard Knocks. Ross Corinna, Brian Dickens, Zach Chapman, and Thomas Harris made the feature. We still have vet provisionals, volunteer provisionals, and the auction winner up for grabs. If you're interested, make sure you check out the Coast to Coast Racing League Facebook page for more details. So we'll go one more lap until we take the green flag. Remember, it's $50 for a provisional start in the final. Determined by the order of the bids, up to 4 provisionals will be sold. Now there's only 2 spots left. Jeff Barker and Bob DeGood have provisional set. So DeGood uses a provisional. We'll see on who gets the second one. Or maybe even the final 2. But Andy Patton, Jeff Kemper, set to bring us to the green flag. There you see Barney. He's got the green in hand. Last chance showdown. How bad do you want it? The last chance showdown. The B-Main is green. Andy Patton gets a good start. Jeff Kemper in the 2nd position. Gary Taylor down to 3rd. Jeff
Devo already up to 5th. All right around the outside.
And he's going to the inside for 4th. My,
now he comes down.
My. Oh, Gary's on the wall. That gives Devo the 3rd spot. Throws the slider on Gary. 3 wide for the 4th and 5th positions on the track. Gary's up the wall once more. Oh, man! That got tight between Barker and Bixler. That's for the final
4 wide
spot. 4 wide in turn number 4. Gary's on the wall. What a wheelie by the captain! And he spins out Jack Hitt. The caution does not fly just yet. Stand by if it comes out. But it's Andy Patton out in front, and now the caution flies. As both Hitt and Taylor are stopped on track, just hoping they get the caution so they can get back going for a quick repair.
Yeah, with one quick repair, and it's still only 3 laps, they can easily get the quick repairs. Anything can still happen with 19 laps, so you want to get that in there and breathe deep, refocus, and give it a run.
Zach Gary was on the wall so many times, but look at that wheelie.
I mean, he was trying to impersonate Dean out there, I think
so,
too.
too.
Really like that.
But Gary carried it a lot longer than I would, and he did it under action. So, I mean, we got to frame that and put it in the lounge.
Yeah, I think that's going to be in some C2C clips for sure.
Yeah. Marty, you going to clip that?
Yep, I can put that up. Make that the wildest moment of the night. Possibly. Let's go to Jack Hits on board. And you can see, Taylor was ramped up on hit for a while. Man, how'd you like to have that in your own eyes? But man, look at the view. Jack Hit had a view of Gary Taylor's belly pan.
I got a bigger belly pan than most.
I feel you there, Dino.
Dino! Dino! Come on, man.
Hey.
And you know, you drew attention to it on the first lap, Dean, but have we seen a better first lap all night?
That's the best start I've seen from anyone all night.
Devo went right around the outside of Bixler, and I bet you Steve looked to the right and said, look at that. He put 4 wheels in the fluff and let her eat.
So Devo looking to go from the C to the A. Brad Waite looking to go from the D to the A. He's currently in the 8th position, so he restarts outside of row number 4. But still, Andy Patton and Jeff Kemper in the front row, followed by Ross and Bixler in row 2. Jeff Barker rounds out the top 5, set to come back to the green flag as Patton goes.
Good start by Andy.
Yeah, one of the best restarts I've ever seen from him in this like this. Ross immediately moves up to the 2nd spot. Kemper 3rd, Barker 4th. Here comes Bixler up on the top shelf. Brandon Dimmer, the Spider Monkey looks to go 2 for 1. Looked to thread the needle, but that doesn't work. That puts him all the way back down.
Brad Waite.
7th spot, but here comes Brad Waite, as Steve mentioned. 5th, looking for 4th on Bixler, and the mayor shuts the door on him, Zach. Oh!
Yeah, hard racing going on back here, but you know, you got to get it while the getting's hot. Everybody's trying to go up top, and they're all trying to go hammer down.
Brad's got for a slider.
For the 4th spot, the slider works for the 814. Just like it did on Gary Offut. Bixler wants to fight it back and counter on the slider, but he can't send it in deep enough. Waite hangs on to the final transfer spot. Meanwhile, it's Patton, but Ross is
ran out of gas.
Ross is closing on Patton here big time, Dino. Let's run on board with them.
Oh, let me go back up then, because I'm watching Bixler and BD here. Yes, he is. He's getting closer, but I tell you, I'm watching the race for the final transfer spot. It's gonna get tight here.
It's about to get even tighter because the Spider Monkey's coming up here too.
Oh!
BD's.
Bixler in the wall. Made some contact there with Dittmer. But with these two racing hard for that 5th position as Bixler moves the slider.
They're losing ground. They should
comes.
just.
Brad Waite looking for 3rd on Jeff Kemper, but we just had a change for the lead, guys. Ross goes to the point here, Zach.
Well, he's making me feel a lot better about last night, but boy, he's in a missile. You know, it won't be probably many laps till he passes me in that A main here. He's fast.
Dean, this just has me thinking with the way Devo is running from the C to the A main. Could he be a contender for the Knoxville Nationals spot?
Oh, with a 50 lapper and with the track stayed at 50%, anyone could win that race.
Absolutely. Back to the race for 3rd, Brad Waite, Jeff Kemper, Brandon Dittmer, Steve Bixler, another slider from Brandon Dittmer. That doesn't pay off. However, though, 11 laps to go. A lot of time left in those, Zach.
Yeah, you can't blame Bixler and Dittmer for running this hard against each other. You know, they're going for it, but at the same time, they're really hurting each other trying to run down Brad up there.
They haven't lost too much time, though, Dean. The delta between 4th and 5th, 8/10 of a second.
Did you just say Delta?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, stop throwing this good stuff out of here. But like Zach said, though, they're actually better off just following each other and get really close to Brad.
Hang on a second. Yep. Kemper got loose right in front of Waite. The 814 looks for 3rd. This gives Dittmer a chance here to close.
Dittmer's right there.
For 3rd.
I think Brandon's getting in a groove now.
You're exactly right, though, Dino. That's the move if I'm Bixler. I let those 3 start racing.
Dittmer
right.
now against the wall.
Yes.
Kemper down in the 4th spot. Dittmer down in P5. Dittmer wants to make the Knoxville Nationals. How bad does he want it? We put 15 laps on the board this time. We work lap number 16, 7 laps to go. He's got to run.
Doing a little diamond off the corner.
That's a nice move from the
Yeah, I was trying to do that in the C main a little bit, and it did work.
Dittmer, though, decides not to throw the slider in 3 and 4. Kemper, though, bites the wall once again. 5 to go.
Slide job. Nope, he's, yeah, ooh, I don't know what
Got the berm, though, but I think it may possibly work for the 83. Kemper, though, tries to counter it back. The spider monkey slams the door right in his face, throws the slider in front of him. Dittmer trying to hang on with 4 to go, Zach.
Yeah, it was a tough one for Kemper. I think he got the wall there going down the front stretch. Really hurt speed. He couldn't throw a crosser. Dittmer, it looks like, almost touched the wall a little bit, and Kemper's right back in the front.
We got a race for the lead, though, in 3 and 4. Patton's fought back on Devo. This is position number 17 on the line here for the Knoxville Nationals.
Kemper right back to the outside.
For the 4th position. Holy moly, what a B-main this is. Kemper up on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Back into the 4th spot. Dittmer tries to throw the slider. Doesn't work. 3 laps to go, Dean. Can Kemper do it or can Brandon do it? Patton, meanwhile, tries to take the lead back.
I tell you, this race is for the. I know you're up front a little bit, Marty, but this race for 4th, although Jeffrey seems to be. I don't know if his tires, Zach, might be a little bit better right now because he's starting to put some distance now.
Jeff's trying to run away with that final transfer spot and take it away from Brandon Dittmer. Meanwhile, for Devo, it's a 0.6 of a second lead. Rather make that a half-second lead. 21 laps to go here in this last chance showdown. Patton's knocking it up. He takes a peek underneath. He's up to that tail tank, but he got loose off the turn 2. Gradwaite's got a chance at it. 3 cars coming to the checkered flag here in this B main. Devo takes it. Brad Waite from the D main to the Knoxville Nationals. Patton 3rd. Jeffrey Kemper takes the final spot in, pending provisional. But what a story we had. From the C main to the A main for Devo, from the D main to the A main for Waite.
Yeah, and remember too, Waite, he made it with that memorable pass too, where he just got him at the line. He had a close call in that other race. He earned it tonight. He did the hard way.
Absolutely. Give you your official results here from the B main. Ross, Waite, Patton, Kemper make it in. Unfortunately for Dittmer, Bixler, Taylor, Mike Cranmer, Roger Craig, Jack Hitt, Jeff Barker. They are headed to Dingus just a little bit early on tonight.
Nope, Jeff Barker will still be running.
Yep, Barker will still be running. And same with Bob DeGood. And
I mean, Barker can still go to the Dingus if he wants and come back, but...
There are 2 more provisionals up for grab here. If anybody wants them for $50, check it out on the Coast to Coast Racing League website. And let's see here. I want to see if we can bring in Brad Waite. Let's bring in Brad Waite here. We've already talked with Devo. I want to talk with Brad Waite here. Brad, holy cow, man. From the D main to the feature, how did you do it?
I don't know, but I'm going to throw it all to my guys here because they talked me into running this thing. I honestly wasn't even going to run it. To Inferno Motorsports, M9 Performance, everyone back at the team there, they were coaching me, telling me what to do, and I give them all the credit. I just drove the thing.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you expect for this B main? Did you expect a tougher competition?
I did, and honestly, I didn't really want to make any changes because I figured the D main and the C main didn't let me down. So I thought, you know what, I'm sticking with my gut, and I'm just going to let it all hang out.
Brad, we've run in another league, as you were mentioning. I've noticed since this new build, man, you've gotten a ton of speed. Does it fit in your style? Is that what you're liking? Is the new build?
It is. I mean, it was definitely a learning curve at the beginning, but I kind of got used to it and just took it by the bullhorns and went with it.
Well, Brad, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Just everyone at the team, Inferno Motorsports, M9 Performance, DNT Design, CTFX, getting hooked. I mean, everybody back at the team. I mean, it's been great.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll let you go. Best of luck in the feature tonight.
Good luck, Brad. Good job.
And so that's Brad Waite, our second place finisher. We'll go back to our B main winner here in Donovan Ross. Devo, I don't know if I've ever heard Dino stunned. Really?
Well, on that start, did you close your eyes?
No, you got to go.
Well, you did.
Well, the theory is now it's, we're in the B main, and my thinking is the track's still so fast. If they got single file and strung out, it's too hard to. I'd rather throw them over my shoulder and make one move than have to make 22 moves in a row. And so.
Yeah, but with this new build though, that fluff doesn't have the grip like it did before. But did you just think it was still going to hook, or did you do that in practice? Did you try it a little bit?
No, I got a decent setup, and I adjusted the rear shocks a little bit, just both of them evenly, and the car seems to have like grip like they used to have. I don't think it's going to be any good in the slick. As those laps went on, I got freer and freer and freer, but in the medium tracks, it felt really good, like the older setups did.
That's cool. Good deal.
So, it was good. Like I said, we just getting to where we belong now, so we'll let the professionals eat at the front, and I'll be thankful I made it in there and try to do the best we can.
So what do you expect now as a whole for 47 laps coming up here?
Well, how many X's do we get? So 16X. I mean, I think if it's going to be super slick, I think what's the track state start at? 50%? Does anybody know?
Yes, 50%.
As I think it's going to separate the race. These guys are good. The top 6 or 8 guys that are good in the slick, and then there's some guys that are okay, and then there's a bunch of guys that aren't good at all. So, I think it's going to be a good race at the front, like it usually is, and we're going to have a lot of cautions and just try to survive.
Go ahead and give us little shout outs again.
Oh, well, thank Roger again. Thank for Dean. Dean's always a believer. I'm a little upset at Marty because even when I was banned, you wouldn't even say my name in the broadcast, and so I did notice. So it's fine. You got to follow company orders. Roger drives a tight ship, and yeah.
Well, I've been in detention a few times. I just haven't gone full bore like you did. So.
Well, as a whole, though, Devo, it's good to have you back. So.
Absolutely. The world is better when you have a Devo.
Yes.
Yeah. I enjoy being back. I like doing it. I just get so gosh darn frustrated at sometimes, and I think Roger's just as stubborn as I am. So, boy, when we tie horns, it doesn't end well, and it's usually for me because it's his sandbox and his toys. So,
absolutely,
I'll learn to play better. I appreciate what you guys do. Thanks to Roger, all the guys that put in a hard, lots of hours to do these events. It's appreciated. And yeah, let's set ourselves up for 465 laps or whatever we got to go run.
Let's do it. Best of luck.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit, maybe, huh?
Yep, maybe. All right, Andy Patton's also in the waiting room too, so let's bring him up as well. Why not?
Gosh.
Because Andy, I did not see him coming late in the going because of the way Devo was running. Andy, what led you to having a chance at Devo for the win after he got by you there?
Oh my God! I hooked up on the bottom, and I thought I had him. I didn't realize my teammate was all over the top and just blasting through there. So yeah, it was just a little fun. After the cautioner, I ran over, or after the checker, I ran over the back of him. I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. God
Okay,
damn it!
So we know there was no beef between you two. Obviously, you guys.
No, we're teammates. No, there's
Yes.
definitely not a beef. Oh
But
shit!
Anyway, apologies for the language. Real quick, Andy, what do you expect here for this feature coming up?
Yeah, I have no idea. Honestly, I mean, I put in a lot of practice time here and try to see, but you never know what's going to happen with these guys,
All right.
I think Devo kind of hit it on the head there. 16X, that's a good number.
Absolutely.
There's a goal.
We'll see.
All righty. Well, Andy, we'll let you go. You got a
Good luck,
few
Andy.
up. Best of luck.
Thanks, man.
All righty. That's your top 3 from the B main. When we come back, we've got an interview with Dylan Westbrook, and then it's feature time. Stay with us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Roger Craig here. On behalf of the Coast to Coast Racing League, the Steve King Foundation, and the Westbrook family, I just want to thank everybody, all the drivers, the ladies, the kids that made this event a total success. A huge shout out to DWR Automotive, the Westbrook family, and the Turnbull family for their generous donations, along with teams and businesses that have contributed either money or door prizes just to make it a spectacular event. Can't thank everybody enough. Want to thank the admins, everybody behind the scenes making this event happen. In particular, want to thank the Steve King Foundation for converting all the money that we donate into helping drivers and their families in times of need. Just want to thank all the sponsors. You'll see them coming up in a second. Great job, everybody. A huge thank you.
Good afternoon, drivers and race fans. Hey, I'd like to take a moment on behalf of the Steve King Foundation to thank all the drivers for participating and all of our great sponsors for participating in the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Also want to thank EWR Automotive, the Westbrook and Turnbull families, as well as Coast to Coast Racing League for all their support in hosting the event. It was a great event for the Steve King Foundation, and we appreciate the support. Thank you.
Are you listening? Are you missing me like I'm missing you? This just can't be true. Did you have to leave so soon?
When Steve died, the outpouring of love across the country was amazing. We realized we were in a position that no racing family wants to be in. The good that was coming out of that was that these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation is important to me. It keeps Steve present in what we all do and what we all love, and that's racing.
My favorite memory of Steve was just how nice of a guy he was and how genuine he was.
I'm just sure that Steve would be very honored and thankful for the foundation and how it's honoring his name and all the good that the foundation does.
You go to a racetrack on Saturday, nobody expects to come out of there hurt. Unfortunately, sometimes it does happen. And thankfully we got people like the King family and everybody that's involved with the Steve King Foundation to help these families.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and the Stephen King Foundation reached out to me and told me that they had a check. I was absolutely floored. I just thought that they did this for drivers or crew members that got injured. You know, racing, they always say racing's like a big family.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal. I mean, it's kind of inspired me to start my own foundation within racing.
There was such a caring family, and they wanted to help others, and being able to just be associated with them, to carry on his name, to help other racers and their families to survive in the sport that we love so much has just been a real honor for me.
The thing that gets lost in translation is, yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We continue on here with the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. With us, probably the man that's well-deserving and special enough to talk about Mike Westbrook. And that, of course, is Dylan Westbrook, the driver of the number 47X sprint car. Dylan, thanks for doing this, man. How are you?
Oh, no problem. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So let's just begin with this. What's it mean to have Mike honored here in what's probably the biggest race of the year for the Coast to Coast Racing League?
Oh, it's awesome. I know Roger, he mentioned about doing this quite a while ago, and we just said, yeah, it's a great idea. And I'm sure Mike would love it too. So yeah, every year we just try to kind of keep it growing a little bit more and more. And yeah, it's crazy how many people came up on board just to kind of bump up the purse and everything for it. And it's always a great show every year. Always get pretty excited to watch it.
How big of a mark did he leave on the family and the racing community?
Oh, it was huge. Like even now when we go to the track, everyone like that's what everyone says. The easiest guy to talk to in the pits, hang out like that, and yeah, I can always count on him. Always coming out, no matter what race or wherever we were, he'd always come out there and give us a hand.
Well, since we are at the Knoxville Raceway tonight, you actually have a bit of experience at Knoxville. You actually have a feature win. Maybe you could possibly just talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we went there once and or a couple times, but one night just got it. Everything worked out perfect for us, and ended up getting the win. And just really cool to win there. Just like the national, like biggest place for sprint cars around. So it's cool to get a win and Canadian there to do it. So it's pretty cool. Definitely like I don't even know how to explain it. Just especially after going through the scales, pulling onto the front like straightaway there, it was awesome. Yeah, probably one of my favorite wins, that's for sure.
Now, was that a weekly race or was that a series race?
That one was a weekly one, but the Outlaws, they were also there with like the 410. So there was quite a few people and a couple extra 360s. So it was a cool night to win it. I know walking back, I've done something right.
Yeah, absolutely you have. So you're also this year leading the SOS Tour on the year, and you're third in 360 feature wins in North America with 7 on the year. How have you looked back on this season so far as we're now in the month of August?
It's been a really good season so far for us. Had a bunch of friends, really just like friends and family working on the car this year. You know, a bunch of other years we always had like a full-time guy being able to work there and work on the car, but just kind of the first year in quite a while that's just been like me or friends, family, all working on it. So pretty cool just to be still successful this year with no, like, still have people that can call for their input, but kind of it's me or someone else like making the calls. So pretty fun year. Had a little bit of bad luck at Oswego so far, just like breaking gears, and one night we got taken out, so we're back in third in points. But I think there's still a little bit of a chance might be able to come back. But yeah, got a bunch of wins this year, winning the SOS, so going pretty good.
What's coming up for you down the road?
Friday night, not this Friday, but next Friday. Just a weekly show at Oswego, and then Monday, Tuesday, I think it's the Pinty series, so we're racing both those nights also.
Nice. That's I believe is that, I know it's not Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, but is that like one of the biggest races of the year at Oswego too, especially with the Pinty series headlining the event?
Yeah, that's probably, I'd say it's just as big as like the Canadian Nationals, just not as big for the sprint cars, but it probably draws the same amount of people and everything. It's a lot of fun just to get everyone there, get to see those cars go around the track just for something different, and yeah, get a bunch of new people out to the track that normally wouldn't go there just to see sprint cars.
Well, we'll give you the final word here. Anything else you want to shout out about your team or Dylan Westbrook Automotive, or even about Mike, as this event is continuing on around the corner? We're having a lot of fun with it, but we'll give you the final words here.
Yeah, just really appreciate all you guys doing the race and joining into it. For like whole family and everything, they were real happy, and we'll all be on doing it every year from now on.
Alrighty, man. Well, we definitely appreciate you taking a couple minutes with us. We hope you enjoy the night tonight. Real quick, do you have a prediction on who may win the Knoxville Nationals?
I don't really know. Like, it's I don't really have a pick. It's so hard now to pick. Like, there's always, like, there's so many good guys. It's hard to just pick one.
Yeah. Well, we know you're going to enjoy tonight as well as next week. Appreciate you taking some time for a couple minutes. We hope you enjoy it, and Mike definitely left a great legacy.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
For Lucy Olson, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Knoxville Raceway. The sun's starting to set here on iRacing, and we are a couple moments away from beginning our 47 feature. We also have driver inductions around. I want to thank Dylan Westbrook for taking the time, a couple minutes this afternoon to speak with me. Definitely appreciate Roger as well for coordinating that interview. So the anticipation is building, and you can see as well we're having our last minute food before last minute snacks before we go racing. Marty Scale alongside Brandon Dittmer and Dean Reynolds. They will be joining me in the booth here for the feature. So the anticipation now builds and builds and builds. Dittmer, what's it mean now for the following 28 drivers we have in the field that will be racing for it all tonight?
I mean, a lot here really quickly. 40. Oh, we have set for 50 laps. 46 once we get the 4 wide done and everything. I believe it starts at what 50%? Yeah, 50%. Yes. So it's gonna be about as slick as it can be once this comes to an end. I'm be interested who can save tire, who can just manipulate their way through the field and around the wrecks, because that's going to be a big part of this once it comes down to it.
Dean, I think Brandon mentioned something interesting. 47 laps and using fuel up pretty much a 47-lap show. You're using up like the entire fuel tank. If you remember back to last year, John Helms was leading at the white flag, ran out of fuel on the back straightaway. Patrick Spangler took the lead away. He ran out of fuel, but he was able to coast to the checkers with the victory.
Yeah, with the new build and, you don't know how much fuel you burn compared to the old build. We were talking earlier where I think you're going to burn less, but what I've noticed, and I don't know what the plan is, though, are they going to go and reset the track back to 50% for the feature, or are they letting it carry over?
Carry over.
Well, that's interesting because I have noticed something that I haven't seen since the new build is the moguls and the berms are back up against the wall.
Absolutely, that could be a big factor coming on in.
Yeah.
Spangler looking to become the first two-time winner of the Knoxville Nationals. Comes in as the favorite. However, though, he's got some track position to make up, Brandon, as the high side banger tonight starts from the 14th spot.
Yeah, he's way back there after crashing out of his qualifying night, but like I said, 47 laps is a long ways to go, and there's a lot of wrecks that can happen. But Patrick is one of those guys who has been able to kind of save a little bit of tire and be there at the end. And Dean touched on it. This new this new build has forced a lot of people to stay off the gas, so they're not going to be able to. So they're going to run through less fuel, and for the first time in a long time, we're going to actually be able to complete a 50-lap main without the fuel problem.
So,
Marty, I think somebody might have paid for a provisional because I know Brian Lawson's in the field.
yes, that is a great point. Brian Lawson is in the field.
And Colin Johnston is entered now, too.
Yep. Colin Johnson have joined, so our provisionals are in. I believe. Yep, I just want to make sure. Drivers' meeting is happening right now with Roger Craig.
Or is Colin the pace car driver? I think he's the pace car driver.
Cullen might be the pace car driver.
Yeah, I think he is. Yep.
So Cullen may be in the special pace truck.
Yeah, because the truck is in the pits on the grid right now.
See if we can find that here for you on our screen. There it is. And the pace car driver is Colin Johnston.
There's two cars in that mix. I don't know which one's which.
I know there's a wing on top of the truck right now.
That's an interesting looking sprint car.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing too. So
there, Brad Waite's up.
Brad Waite's just trying to steal the show. He's ate soup. He's done the soup, and now he's put a wing on top of the pace truck.
He wants the aerodynamics with the truck. But yes, Colin Johnson in the pace truck. This is the exact same truck that we used in last year's Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Of course, if you saw in the break, you saw the tribute to Mike Westbrook. He had a blue Chevy. Very nice truck. It's definitely cool that we get to have a pace truck for the Knoxville Nationals. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Johnston will make one lap around the Knoxville Raceway. And we'll take a photo. And they'll get together for a photo before they come across the start-finish line. So can confirm here, Lawson did receive the Veterans Provisional.
Okay. Good deal.
And wait on who gets everything else. All right, guys, I can hear what you guys are saying about the audio situation. Let me see what I can do here with the guys, because the engine sounded fine. Let me see if this works. My mic is at full range, so just a heads up. So I've got you guys down at 50%, but I see that Roger is in our Discord. Roger, are we set to go?
Yeah, we're set to go. I just up here so I can hear the live announcing to make sure that we're we're all synced up.
Alrighty. Well,
Pace trucks out there. Brian Lawson he is the veteran provisional because Jeff Parker and Bob the Good both bought provisionals. So they said if give that to Brian. So.
Alrighty, sounds good. So let's meet your starting lineup here for the 3rd annual Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Let's meet the field. Here is your catalytic recovery starting lineup. Utilizing the provisional in car number 9, as he is driving the Venom Racing Super Dirt Car Series Magnum Race Design entry from Stanfordville, New York. This is Brian Lawson. Lawson in the special Steve King Foundation paint scheme. Getting the next driver out here onto the racetrack. Next driver also using a provisional. He's from Brewerton, New York. In the Can-Am Racing Team, Malcolm Mills, mill riding. Sim Racing number 513 entry. It's the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Also using a provisional. He is in the Gambler Motorsports number 55 entry. This is the detective, Steven Speeds. And using a provisional as well. Out of Kansas City, Missouri. In the Can-Am Racing Team, Malcolm Mills mill riding. Bosco Victory Fuel Flavored Water number 7, it's Bob D. Good. Now let's meet the drivers that came out of Hard Knocks, starting from the 24th position in the 113 entry, the 013 entry rather. This is Thomas Harris. Thomas Harris in car number 013. And also coming out of the Hard Knocks from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, in the Gambler Motorsports, Cool Ray Heating and Air Conditioning, Young Gun Conditions, Gambler Motorsports number 72. This is Scooby-Doo, Zach Chapman. Starting from the 21st position, out of Minnesota, in the Phantom Motorsports, Bandy Belt, Velocity Race Design, M9 Performance Power Outdoors, number 10, the boss, Ross Corinna. Now to the drivers that came out of the B main from the 20th position. Out of Lebanon, Oregon, in the Gambler Motorsports, Young Gun Creations, Lynn Gear Company, Extreme E-Speed TV, number 181, it's Jeff Kemper. Making the third B main spot, starting from 19th position. Out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, in the Inferno Motorsports A&J Custom Creations Highline Graphics number 87, it's the General Andy Patton. Starting 18th and making his way all the way from the D-Main out of Altoona, Pennsylvania, in the Inferno Motorsports M9 Performance, getting hooked, number 814, Brad Waite. And your winner of the Last Chance Showdown, he is in car number 02 from Burlington, Washington, in the Premier Door Company All-In Construction Ride. It's Devo Donovan Ross. Starting in the 18th position, out of Corning, Iowa, in the Hammer Down Racing Dirt Track Bank, Got Your 6 Racing Network Extreme Images number 31, Brandon Templeton. No sign of the 15th place starter outside row number 7, the defending champion of the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Nope, we do have the guy starting from the 15th position. There he is in the number 014. Out of Ontario in the Independent Racers Group, we let the dogs out for you, an abandoned cat rescue. It's G.J. Boydell. Now to the defending champion of the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. He is out of Tip City, Ohio, in the Training Wheels Racing Superior Interiors Velocity Race Design number 39, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Inside on row number 7 out of Virginia, in the ADRA Esports, For Cloak Media, JR Racing number 127, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson. Row number 6 on the outside. Out of Duanesburg, New York, in the Catalytic Recovery West End Towing and Repair number 518, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. And from the 11th position, out of Sydney, Australia, in the NLRA Ultimate Dirt TV King Race Designs entry, the Australian announcer, Brett Wheeler. We now move to our top 10. From the 10th position, out of Desert Hot Springs, California, in the Kreitz Sim Racing, Kreitz Oval Track Parts, Galen's Homegrown Popcorn, the Merkins, number 161, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Starting from the 9th position, out of Vieux-Chaudray, Quebec, he is in the Oshwegan Speedway entry, Glenn Steyer's Racing Ride, Aero Express, and the wife number 200, Jeff Flero. Starting in the 8th position, he is out of Minot, North Dakota, in the number 5, Venom Racing, Super Dirt Car Series, top-notch trucking artist and trackside ride. It's Slide Job Isaac Salas. From position number 7 on the grid, he's out of Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, in the Gambler Motorsports, Burger Barn, Kingpin Farms, Petro Plus Travel Stop Velocity Race Designs, number 35, Daddy's Money, Connor Ross. Starting from the 6th position, out of Aylett, Virginia, he is in the Slide Job Racing Network, Kreitz Oval Track Parts, Galen's Homegrown Popcorn, Epsilon Sprint Wraps, number 07, the Aylett Outlaw, Preston Cranmer. We now move over to the top 5, starting in the 5th position this evening. In car number 207, out of Terre Haute, Indiana, the Inferno Motorsports Highline Cinematography A&J Custom Creations CTFX number 207, it's Stacy Elmore. Starting fourth and current contender for the Renegades Championship. He's in car number 042. And the Training Wheels Racing entry, the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson. Starting from the third position, he's your current points leader in the Renegades division. He is out of Clarence, Iowa. In the Kreitz Sim Racing, Galen's Homegrown Popcorn, Epsilon Sprint Wraps, Flatline Racing Bodies, number 20, the salesman, Blake Chapman. And the front row for the third annual Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals benefiting the Steve King Foundation looks like this. On the outside of the front row from second spot, from Burleson, Texas, in the Dirty South Car Quest of Paris, Dirty South Sim Setups, Marzoff Incorporated, Factory Canopy, Twisted Tech, number 21, the Flying Fry, Kevin Fry. And on the pole position for the Knoxville Nationals, and car number 27, ladies and gentlemen, from Jefferson City, Missouri, in the STR Aces Up Sim Sports Finish Line Race Designs, number 027, Chad Griggs. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the field of 27 ready to take the green for the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Driver introductions are in the books, and this is starting to get exciting here. The anticipation building up, the butterflies building up in the stomachs of the drivers, and we're moments away from the green flag. Brandon, I know you're excited for this one.
I am excited. I'm still kicking myself for messing myself up, but this is going to be an interesting one from start to finish. I'm not going to say my prediction yet. I'll wait till you two do yours, but I can't wait for this.
Dean, how about you?
Well, what's cool is, Roger and everybody's put together a great event for charity and also a fun event for everyone to race. They've been here all week. I was just here for today and trying to get in, but a lot of these guys have run, 2-3 nights this week to get ready for this event. And, it does say 50, but I know they're going to go 3 caution laps to have the Westbrook 47 lap race. And I'll tell you what, who's the next one to etch their name as a Knoxville Nationals champion for Coast to Coast?
We will find out that in just a matter of moments. 47 laps around the corner. Drivers will pull in to pit road to get themselves gridded for the biggest race of the season in the Coast to Coast Racing League. So everyone has gridded in the pits. And then they'll have 2 minutes to make any final adjustments to the setups. And then it's on. There you'll see the pole sitter, 27 of Chad Griggs. His first start with us in the Coast to Coast Racing League. And of course, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. We'd love to hear your predictions. Canellis wants to see Boydell on the podium. And also
don't pick me, guys. I didn't make it.
I'm rooting for Blake Chapman. Doyle Lawrence says that Raven Graphics will award $50 to the hard charger that breaks into the top 5 with 5 or less instant points. That's awesome to hear. Joe's also rooting for Isaac, as well as Michael Grandy. Kim also watching in the chat. Scott Thomason rooting for Chad Griggs. Watching from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'm just going to jump in here for a second before I get down back into race control. And thank you, Marty, for doing such a professional job. Really appreciate it. And thanks all the guys that have been in the room helping out. It's really important to point out the volunteers race had 20 drivers in it, and that's not all the volunteers. That's how many people it takes to run this league. So a big shout out to everybody that makes this happen.
Absolutely. Without them, it's not possible. There you see the field lined up. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck will bring the field to the green flag and lead them into our 4 wide coming up in just a matter of moments. Again, another reminder of the starting lineup. Ignore the front row. That is set up for our pre-race ceremonies. We'll count this down for you one by one. Look for your favorite driver and where they are starting on the grid. Again, the driver you see at their position number, just add 2 to it. Add a row to it, and that is where they will be starting tonight here. As Cullen Johnston leads the field off. There's a look at the track right now here at Knoxville. You get a brief idea of what it looks like, and it is slick as you know what, Dean.
Yeah, and the crowd is filled in nice. When I was out there in the D main, there wasn't a lot of fans, but now it's packed. So this is fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. It'll be a lot of fun in just about 5 minutes from now. The field pacing 2 by 2 with the iRacing Pace Truck led by Benny, as well as Cullen Johnston with the Mike Westbrook Memorial Chevy Silverado Pace Truck. And again, you will see, just a heads up here real quick, you will see the field go to the green flag. However, though, they will do a couple extra pace laps. Get this 4 wide looking good, and you see them, they're already forming up 4 by 4 for the most awesome sight in all of motorsports. We'll get them fielded up here. The fans in the stands turning on their crowd lights, waving them to the left and to the right and shaking them all around. The field forms up 4 wide. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to see a sight for sore eyes. The greatest drivers in sprint car iRacing, 4 wide to thank you for coming out this evening. In return, we want you to get up on your feet, make some noise, and take some pics, because this is a Kodak moment. Knoxville Raceway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses of man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. Here come the Extreme E-Speed TV Coast to Coast Racing League Sprint Cars in the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals.
Fantastic.
We're at Knoxville. It's the Knoxville Nationals. The man on the flag stand tonight is Doug Clark for me. You can call him Barney all you want, but it's Doug Clark for me.
Well, it's Doug's son now that does it. Actually.
It is Justin. It is Justin now. Yes.
Real quick here, the field in missing man formation to honor the legendary Mike Westbrook.
Good job. Looked awesome.
That's always a sight. Now the field transitions down to 2 by 2. It's time for predictions here. Dean, who are you picking?
Well, I tell you, now that the outside is built up like old, there's a guy that salivates when that happens. So I'm going to go with Mr. Patrick Spangler. And then my sentimental pick, I got my logo on the side of Slide Job, so I'm going to make him my sentimental pick.
Brandon?
Already go ahead before me.
I am going to go with the man that's been on fire ever since this new dirt package began. That's the 20 of Blake Chapman.
Free popcorn for everybody.
Oh, why not let you go first? That was my pick. I was going to go Blake because, yeah, he's been on fire all freaking weekend.
And another guy that's been fast, though, is Tyler Wilson since this new build.
Absolutely.
I am going to go Tyler Wilson tonight.
Well, let's see what happens here. You're on board with the Steve King Foundation pace truck. Should see it make the left-hand turn to pit road this time, and it will. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Griggs, Fry, green flag, showtime, the Knoxville Nationals underway. Chad Griggs with the early race lead. Second belongs to Kevin Fry. Third, Blake Chapman. Fourth, Tyler Wilson. Stacy Elmore rounds out the top five. Lamborn up on the boards, led by Chad Griggs. Blake Chapman, though, underneath the flying Fry for the second position. Let's see what Chapman can do about it, Brandon.
Yeah, he's. I need to get where you are. He's running that bottom really nicely, staying really. He's pulling away from Kevin Fry nicely too. Catching up on Chad.
Oh, trouble. Jesse Atkinson has crashed, and he is up on his side. Yellow lights are off for the first time this evening. A tough break for the Pink Panther, who is starting to improve a lot lately in Renegades competition.
Harry Landis just got loose in front of him, and he had nowhere to go.
Let's give you a look at it. Yep, just a pop there. And a heavy impact with the way that wall was angled. That's always a violent shot.
Reminds me of somebody else who hit that inside wall a couple of years back. I can't remember his name, though. He hit that inside wall for whatever reason. It's a violent hit.
Damaged that left front really, really well. Unfortunately, it's not like last year where it's really easy to try and get that thing back up on all four wheels. Things have changed in sprint car racing ever since, So 6 laps officially up on the board on iRacing, technically 3. But from what we have seen at the moment, Dean, Blake Chapman up 2 spots at the moment. The biggest mover on track, though, currently up 6, and guess who that is, Dean? That's Donovan Ross. It's the second biggest mover, I should say.
You know what? And I say this a lot. When you do get to run like a matinee or something a little bit before the actual event, and Devo's got a lot of laps, and it does mean a lot. You're in a groove. You kind of know what the track's going to do, and it really does help. And I'm sure he's taking advantage of it.
All right, field double file here for this restart. And let's reset it for the fans here at home. Chad Griggs, Blake Chapman, row number 1. Kevin Fry, Stacy Elmore, row 2. Tyler Wilson, Connor Ross, row 3. Ross set the best lap of the race before we went yellow. Preston Cranmer, Isaac Salas, row 4. Jeff Flero, Brett Wheeler round out the top 10. Griggs is the control car here for this restart. The Mission 22 restart zone, we're back to green. Griggs able to hold serve, however, though Chapman up on the second groove. Nice drive on corner exit, looking for the race lead. They're door-to-door going into turn number 3. Can Griggs shut the door on him? No, he lets Blake Chapman have it. You've got a new leader in Knoxville. It's the salesman, Blake Chapman. Stacy Elmore up 4 positions in the 3rd spot. Looking to put the M9 Inferno entry up to the 2nd spot. Griggs maybe saving early here, Brandon.
Yeah, and it's a really smart move to be saving this early. You get to that last 10 laps and you got 10% more on your tires than everybody else, you're going to fly right through them.
Isaac Salas also a part of this. By the way, we just had a new quickest lap by Blake Chapman, a 17:09. He's off to a hot start. Isaac Salas, though, closing down the 2nd and 3rd place drivers. You ride on board with him. Take you on board for a lap with Isaac. Just hanging out there on the low line, just wants to play it safe. If he can get that left rear right next to the berm, he's got a great corner. There you can see how the top 7 look on screen at the moment. Go to another good race on track. How about the run for Donovan Ross, up 10 spots into the 9th position, and he goes after Joseph Grandy here, Dean, for 8th.
Yeah, Donovan is he's got a quick car, but I tell you though, Brandon said it about tire wear, because when I ran when I ran Rebels, I felt like my tires were good for 30 laps, but then when I moved on to Renegades, it was amazing how much those last 5 laps meant something. So now you've got a race that's even 12 laps longer than that. So it's going to be interesting to see from, let's see from lap 35 on, Marty, who did it right.
4-car race for the bottom step of the podium. It's Greg, Salas, Flero, and Wilson. Now, just like Salas, Jeff Flero up 6 positions early. He may try and thread the needle here. 3 wide. Nope, he cuts it back. Thinks second better of it. 13
I think Griggs is doing this on purpose.
Could possibly be doing it with it a long race,
Yeah.
longest race for the sprint cars of the season. A 50-lap showdown. Flero on the top shelf on Salas for third. We'll see if that can work out. But Wilson now, Brandon, stuck in the middle, 3 wide for a second.
Yeah, and Flero's making it really work on the top there. I just hope it's not going to ruin his tires too much. Tyler's trying to kind of keep up, but also not trying to burn anything up. I kind of like his moves, but he's just kind of not going anywhere at the moment.
Longer way around for the driver of the 200. He breaks into the podium. Another guy making his way up through the field is also up 11 spots, and not Devo. We're talking about the 10-year of Ross Corinatine. He started in 23rd. He is making moves like Jack.
Well, Ross is another one that's been really fast since the track state and the new build has happened. And, Tyler Wilson and Ross have been the 2 guys that I've noticed really got some speed.
Go back to that race for the 4th position. Tyler Wilson against Isaac Salas. Dean, I think Isaac may have heard you. He may be saving his stuff early because Chad Griggs is now down into the 7th spot.
It's just, it's interesting because Blake is out front and gone. And you wonder if he's going too hard. But, when we always talk about smooth and conservative and keeping the car straight, it's Blake. I tell you, if he hangs on and wins this, that's a statement with his tire wear and everything else. So we'll find out. I mean, it's only lap 20.
Jeff Flero now all over Stacy Elmore for the 2 spot, and the 200 edges out the 207 at the start-finish line. 19 laps are in the books here. The Knoxville Nationals, Tyler Wilson looking to close in. The Macho Man in the 42 started in the 6th spot, Brandon.
Yeah, I said he wouldn't go anywhere or about 2 minutes ago, and all of a sudden he's up like 4 spots from that moment. He's really going at it right now. Hopefully he's not burning it up too much. But Blake Chapman, man, up to like a 1.3 second lead, 1.5 second lead on Jeff Flero. So I just hope he's not burning anything up.
Running laps about 2 to 3 tenths better than anyone else, but we could start to see something interesting here. Maybe 4 wide for second off of turn 2. I think Devo thought second better of it as he has climbed up into the top 5. Oh my goodness, where in the world did he come from, Dino?
Yeah, and interesting too, Devo's got his wing really far back. So he's the first one to really move it back, and you just saw how Flero got really loose in the middle of the corners there. So, Devo's the first one to put the wing in the trunk.
Absolutely. See if all that on-track experience works out well to his advantage. Flero with a lot of yaw into turn number 1 for just a slight moment. This is a smorgasbord in turn number 2. Oh, man, that's tight between Ross and Flero. Devo and Flero, I should be specific. Here comes Connor Ross to break into the podium. Where'd he come from, Brandon?
I don't even know where he came from. I didn't even see Connor coming up through the field, but he is working his way up in that top 3. But like you said, Devo's got 2 other mains on his plate already. He knows how tire wear is going to go, and he is ready for this moment.
And Joseph Grandy's the first one to start going up on the berm. Look at him come on the outside.
Absolutely. Should watch that very closely for $100,000. Very successful in the modified. My goodness! He just passed like 3 guys or something?
Is it Spangler that's in that car?
It could be. I don't know.
Holy cow!
Uber just went up there now. I bet you're going to see some guys go up there.
Anyway, we are past.
It's interesting with that fluff, Marty. Does it save your tires? Because in theory, that's supposed to be soft clay.
It could possibly. We'll see what happens as we are past the halfway point. 24 laps to go, and the leaders are in lap traffic. Chapman just put a lap down on Jeff Kemper. Tyler Wilson second. The Rosses battle for third. Meanwhile, Joseph Grandy passed Jeff Flero up into the 5 spot. He has got something underneath that catalytic recovery 518, despite the front bumper damage, Brandon.
Who did you just say?
Joseph Grandy.
Oh, Grady, he's been making his way through the field. Like I said, like you said, he was hitting that top like no other. And I can't believe it. Oh, there he goes, a little diamond off the corner to get by Kemper.
Get lap car.
But now we go to the race for second. Connor Ross is close in on the 42 of Tyler Wilson as you ride on board. Daddy's money downstairs for the 2 spot. Can he take it away into 3 and 4? The answer is, we'll wait here at the line. He's got it. So 20 laps to go in the Knoxville Nationals, and Connor moves up to the 2 spot. Joseph Grandy up on the top shelf, moves in the 4 spot, and Devo was slideways off at turn number 2. That was a close call for Ross, Brandon.
Yeah, he's got to be careful because this is only going to get worse. And the more you hit on that throttle, the more you're just going to send it sideways. And he's been making it work so far, and I think he's going to reel that in and get better.
Ross gets the memo and thinks it's time to work on the cushion. However, though, he caught the wall and a handful for just a little bit, but he keeps the 0-2 going. Meanwhile, other races for 7th, Preston Cranmer and Ross Carino. Another guy up there of 15 spots. Thomas Harris from 25th to the 10th position. Make it up to the 9th spot, maybe even the 8th spot, Dean.
Yeah, and Connor Ross just went in the wall a little bit and lost a lot of track position, but they're also right
Spangler and Cranmer touch the Outlaws of the wall. Watch out, Solis. He hangs on. That bangs was Kevin Fry. And Solis is on the wall once again. He hangs on to it just barely. We stay on the green. And Isaac is just hail-melting it. Oh, contact with Templeton. My goodness, how is everybody hanging on to this one for dear life? And Patton sideways as well. This has put Isaac to 19. Meanwhile, we look back up front here with 15 laps to go. Isaac
in the wall again.
Is in the wall once again. He's now down into the 22nd position. Blake Chapman's lead down to 1.1 seconds on Connor Ross. He is switched down to the bottom. Connor's staying up top. Now the other question in mind here, could fuel be a factor, Dean?
I don't think so. I think, these guys all of a sudden got really aggressive and went to the top about lap 20. I bet you they all looked at their black box and saw that fuel's not an issue. And now, but I think it's going to be more tires because I'm watching Tyler Wilson and Devo and Grady. They're really getting loose coming off now.
Connor, though, has cut the gap to under a second. You see Chapman's been slower in the last 4 laps. Just been between 500s and a 10th on average. Connor is closing in big time on the 20. Solis has put it in the pits. He is done for the evening. Chad Griggs in the 8th position. Thomas Harris has moved up to 7th. And the high side banger back in the 6th spot here, Brandon.
Yeah, and Patrick has been steadily working his way, not really making too many aggressive moves, trying to save a little bit of tire. But Dean, I'm going to have to disagree with you on
caution,
this.
TJ Boydell around and collects the 814 of weight. And that ends the longest run of the race that we've ever had in the Knoxville Nationals. And it's about to get interesting with 10 laps to go.
Barker just got a little bit together, and around goes him, and he collects, Brad Waite. That's just unfortunate for the 2 drivers right there.
Take a look at the Malcolm Mills mill riding replay. Yep, Barker gets into Boydell. He's sideways, and everyone's trying to avoid, and there's Brad Waite. A tough break for him after making it from the D main to the feature tonight.
Still a hell of an evening.
Yeah.
That was a great run.
Nothing to be disappointed about. What a performance he had on Soup Night. He was committed, nowhere to go.
I'm noticing under the yellow, a lot of guys are starting to move their wings back.
Great point.
I'm going to go back to this real quick. Dean, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this fuel thing. If everybody's going to that top side and absolutely hammering down, their black box might say they might be good on fuel, but hammering down like that, it's going to waste a lot more, and it's going to trickle and trickle and trickle.
So now we come to the green this time by, not the yellow that Blake Chapman wanted, but it's the yellow that Connor Ross wanted, as he is now up on that tail tank of Blake Chapman for the race lead. And we'll have a 10-lap shootout to decide who wins the 3rd annual Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals.
Now, Marty, on this restart, you're going to find out who has tires and who hasn't.
Absolutely.
Because when they hit that gas coming down that straightaway, you're going to see, somebody get sideways, and this could be interesting. It's going to be double file because we're actually officially 11 out.
So here's how your top 10 currently looks at the moment. Blake Chapman, Connor Ross, row 1. Tyler Wilson, Joseph Grandy, row number 2. Donovan Ross, Patrick Spangler, row number 3. Chad Griggs next to Thomas Harris, row 4. And Stacy Elmore, Jeff Flero round out the top 10. A 10-lap sprint to the finish. Decide who's going to win the Knoxville Nationals. Blake Chapman, Connor Ross. Bring us back to the green. Chapman, the control car. Wilson spins the tires. A great restart from the salesman. Wilson slides up for the second position. He's got it. Daddy's Money looks to counter it back underneath for P2. Ross throws a slide job. We're in slide job city once again here at the sprint car capital of the world. Ross back in second. Wilson third. Brandy fourth. Spangler takes the 5 spot with 9 to go, Brandon. Off trouble. Boydell and Speeds. Yellow flag is out. Brandon, go ahead. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I actually didn't have anything prepared to say. I'm glad that caution came out.
Here's a look at what happened for Speeds in the middle of the pack. Simply is hooked with Preston Cranmer, sends him around, and Boydell with nowhere to go. Bobby Good, Kemper also involved in this.
I tell you, Blake just has some magic, doesn't he? He's got the flattest wing of everybody, running the bottom. He's got something that I think we all wish we had.
I don't know how he does it. Whoa, what happened under caution? Zach Chapman's around.
Interesting situation here. Zach is in the back. Now I think you get his spot back.
Oh, the 56 tried to gas it up under caution, just tried to burn a little tire. It came down and hit Zach.
Let's take a look here. They're trying to catch up here. Yeah, Wheeler too much gas. Zach Chapman doesn't see that coming. That's why they say on the World of Outlaw one-way radios, we don't gas it ever unless it's under the green flag.
Yeah, but you got that Reynolds guy that wants to pull wheelies, so he doesn't listen either.
Touche, Dino. So 8 laps to go, and I believe this time this will be a single file restart.
Yep. Now, is this Spangler's time?
Could this be Spangler's time? That's a great
Did he save enough tires for the end here?
According to race control, I believe we have one more double file.
We're going white in a single.
Under my...
Yeah, but we're less than 10. I think that trumps it.
So it will be a single file restart with 8 laps to go. Blake, the top 5 drivers, top 5 drivers have never won Knoxville Nationals. Check that, make it the top 4.
4, yep.
Spangler looking to repeat. These will be the longest 8 laps of Blake Chapman's life. It's a later restart. Tries to time it well, and he does. We're back to green.
Spangler with a slider. No, he stays low.
Wilson nearly takes the second position away from Connor Ross. Spangler on Grandy for the 4 spot. Spangler may throw the slider in turn number 3 and 4, which he does. Spangler takes away the 4th position. 7 laps to go in Knoxville, Brandon.
Yeah, and this is going to be all about what you have left, and there's a big slider by Chad Griggs.
Man, what a wicked slider from hell from Chad Griggs. He may do it on Tyler Wilson this time. For the bottom step of the podium, Griggs sends it too much. It's 3 wide for 3rd. 6 laps to go for Blake Chapman as they race for 3rd. Griggs breaks back into the podium.
Remember what I said about Griggs was doing that on purpose? I wonder if he was, but I wonder if he waited too long.
Who knows, possibly. 5 laps to go in Knoxville. The lead for Blake Chapman. 1.1 seconds on Connor Ross. Came in as the points leader at Knoxville. in the Renegade season. Let's remember, when we began using the new dirt package on iRacing, Andy Panhold, the thought is crash, no caution, we stay green. Remember Blake Chapman, the first race with the new dirt package, he stunned the Vanderbilt team and made a last lap pass on Brennan Lacey by saving tires. 3 laps away from winning. Connor Ross has a fight on his hands for second. Brandon, here comes Griggs.
Wait for a slider, yep.
Griggs is just as aggressive as can be, and I absolutely love it. And there he goes, he's going to block the slider attempt back from Ross, and he is going to go to work on Chapman.
He's going to need a yellow.
He is going to need a yellow, yes he will.
2 sticks up in the air, 2 laps to go for the salesman and Blake Chapman as he dances with the devil in turns 1 and 2. Looking to become the 3rd different winner of the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Chad Griggs not giving up though, tries the slider, 0.8 of a second. Up on the wall he goes. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. Blake Chapman, but Chad Griggs closes in again, tries to throw the slider up in the wall. That may have been his last ditch. The Kreitzem Racing, Galen's homegrown popcorn, Upsilon Sprint Wraps number 20. Confetti will be popcorn. Blake Chapman, the Knoxville Nationals champion.
Heck of a race by freaking Blake, man.
This year's champion's not old enough to go to the Dingus.
How about it for the driver of the number 20, the 3rd different Knoxville Nationals champion, Chad Griggs? You got to give it up for him. He made 1 last charge, saving tires, but it just was not enough. Connor Ross, a great charge early to round out the podium, and your biggest mover of the race from 23rd to the 5th position, the number 013 of Thomas Harris. Now, depending on his maximum, depending on his incident rating, he may get some bonus money courtesy of Doyle Lawrence and the group at Raven Graphics.
Brett Wheeler just does a photobomb of victory lane. Where do you get that from?
I wonder who. But congratulations to Blake Chapman.
Great race. Clean race by everybody. What an awesome show.
That's probably my favorite race ever of the Knoxville Nationals. Just with how clean it was, and here comes Colin Johnston.
Thomas Harris only had 2 incident points.
Wow. So look at the race results here from tonight's Knoxville Nationals. Blake Chapman, the winner by 0.6 of a second on Chad Griggs. Connor Ross 3rd, Patrick Spangler 4th, Thomas Harris 5th, Stacy Elmore 6th, Tyler Wilson 7th, Ross Corona 8th, Brett Wheeler 9th. Donovan Ross rounds out the top 10. Zach Chapman in the 12th position. Luckily was able to stay where he was after that one yellow, after spinning under the yellow flag.
Zach. I think he'll be happy with that.
Absolutely. Tough break for Kevin Fry after starting the outside of the front row.
What happened to Grandy? I see he's 2 laps down.
Yeah, here's the rest of the field. Joseph Grandy finishing in 22nd. I think you know what happened? Fry and Grandy, there was a last lap incident that broke out, and I believe it involved those two. And Isaac Salas in the last place in the Knoxville Nationals. Again, if you are exiting the video, thank you all so much for coming on out. We hope you join us for a future Coast to Coast Racing League event. And if you're staying on, stay tuned as we will have your top 3 on, and they are ready to go. So we will begin with our 3rd place finisher, Connor Ross, here in the 35. Connor, first off, great race tonight in Knoxville. The long run, did you feel like that was where your car was much better at?
Yeah, I needed that run to keep going. I had saved enough. I could have saved a bit more tire, but I fell back to, I think, 10th or 11th. And after that, it was go, 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 save a little. And that long, I was really comfortable. I didn't need to start to spin my tires, and that's exactly what happened both times.
How much fun did you have with this Knoxville Nationals as a whole? An incredible week, especially tonight. Only 2 yellows in this one.
Oh, that was an incredible race. I couldn't have asked for anything more. You know, the cautions. No, go ahead, sorry.
Actually, I meant to say 3 yellows.
Hey, they were perfect. They gave us time to rebunch, group up, put on an amazing race. I think third to seventh were under a blanket side by side. That was phenomenal. You couldn't ask for anything more. Even the prelims were awesome. Everything was ran perfect. I can't thank Coast to Coast enough for putting this on. I never got to meet Mike, but we were around at the track with him, but never got to meet him. But I couldn't have asked for anything better to put on and for a memorial race.
I was going to say, Connor, because you're in the area where the Westbrook family is and go to the same track at Oswego. So this has got to have a little more special feeling for you than I'm sure everyone has a special feeling. But for you, this is kind of a hometown family.
Yeah, they're always at the track, and Dylan's now back racing full-time at Oswego. And my dad knows him obviously really well. As my dad knows everyone in the pits, not like me, but Dylan's a hell of a racer, and Mike was a really good rancher, and so was his dad.
So we got to ask him, Marty, is the Booth Boys selfie mojo still working for Connor Ross?
I think it is. I think I got to come back down, maybe some summer fast action. Well, I seen Marty at Weed Sport, but
he was on Victory Hill with me, and I never even realized it during the feature.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Corey made it, so we were up there with them big dogs.
There you go.
Nice. Well, Connor, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to give a huge thank you to Gambler. I busted my butt off making these sets, and they gave me perfect feedback to change, and they really helped me making these. It wasn't just me. They were throwing feedback back at me. I got to thank Ross Carinta for making this beautiful paint scheme. It's awesome. Go to him if you need any work. I got to thank Petro Plus Burger Barn, Ace One Construction, Kingpin Farms, Pesky Penguin. I got to thank Cool Rays Heating and Cooling. I got to thank you guys for putting on amazing broadcast. Same with Joe. I got to thank Roger, like I said, putting on the leave. Shout out to Steve King Foundation, and yeah, thank you guys so much.
All right,
good job, man.
Great
Good
job. Great week.
Thank you.
That's our third place finisher in Connor Ross. Let's bring in our second place finisher in Chad Griggs. Chad, a tough break for you. You were trying the slide jobs late in the race. Did you feel like if there was one more lap that you would have had Blake?
I might have needed a couple. My strategy all along with my guys was to stick on the bottom, save my tires so that I had a car late in the race. And I knew that I had to be disciplined and stay down there. And even though I have to allow guys to get around me like crazy early on, I knew I could probably turn it on late and get around most of those guys again. And I worked my way too far back before I got to turn it on. I got back to somewhere around P15, and it was just, there wasn't enough time left at that point. So when I turned it on, I got P15 back up to P2 and was right there. I might have been on him in another lap or so, but congratulations to Blake Chapman as well on the win for sure.
Chad, I run sorry, Marty. I was going to say I run a league on another night where they have 75 lap 358 races, and you're doing what we all do. We fall back, and then, but you just don't know when it's go time. Is that where you think maybe if you went just 2 or 3 laps even sooner, it might have been your race?
Probably so. We talked about it real briefly when it was over, and my spotter was telling me, he's like, I thought about telling you when we fell back to P9 or P10 that throw the plan out the window, it's time to go. But he didn't tell me, and I'm sitting there watching the laps and just trying to stick to my plan because we've practiced this over and over, and even in these long sessions that we've done, and it just always works out. If I wait that amount of time, I can normally get back to spots that I lost early on, but just a little short. We just waited a little bit too long to turn it on. But overall, pretty pleased with sticking to my plan and the fact that it did kind of come together, and at least I had a shot there at the end. So.
Now, I believe this is your first time you've ever run with us in Coast to Coast. So I got to ask, what'd you think of it, and will we see you back for Coast to Coast races in the future?
Sure, yeah. I would definitely do it again. The only kicker would be if my iRating is in the limit that is allowable.
Yes, you're right.
And we can't say go tank a few officials because Roger's listening.
Yes, unfortunately, Roger is listening. Yes,
and I won't do that. But like I haven't really run a whole lot of special events at all. I just really run a lot with the guys in practice, and I'm more of a fine tuning setup guy. And help them dialing stuff in. But I decided to step out of my comfort zone here a month or two ago and really try to run some of this stuff and see how I fit in with the good guys. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah,
Well,
I'll definitely be back. It was a lot of fun.
Chad,
should
who
do
you
it
want
more
to give
often,
shout
my
outs
friend.
to before we let you go?
Say that again.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
My team, Scott Thomason Racing, Scott himself, Josh, all the guys over there, Jeff, my spotter tonight. We've all really busted our butts since this new tire model came out. I'm talking hours on end trying to figure this thing out and get used to it, get good at it, and come up with setups that really work. The guys over at ABR Setup Shop, Alex and Aiden, they've been miles help to me since this new tire model came out. Like to thank all the guys at Coast to Coast for putting the event on. A lot of fun. Thank all you guys in the booth for the broadcast. Phenomenal job by you guys. And lastly, I would like to thank my wonderful wife for putting up with me.
Good plan, Chad.
Every night when I disappear down to my man cave for hours on end.
Good suave move there, my friend.
That's
yes, it was.
That's a smart man. That's a smart
Yes,
man.
it is. Yep.
Chad, congratulations on the second place finish. We look forward to seeing you back.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, hopefully we see Chad at a couple more charity races down the road. But now it is time to go to Victory Lane.
Yes, it's CART code. Get you. Never mind. Go ahead, Blake.
He's a little bit too excited because I think there's going to be a party full of Galen's homegrown popcorn, and I'm pretty sure most of it won't be eaten tonight because it's going to be acting as confetti. But Blake Chapman, you are a Knoxville Nationals champion. How does this feel?
Oh man, Marty, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of hungry. I think I need some Galen's right now. I think that's what I need.
Well, we'll get Connor Russ to bring Burger Barn, and we'll have Galen's popcorn, and we'll be all set.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. But yeah, this feels awesome. I mean, I was fast here all week. My setup was really just on point. I mean, I didn't really have much of a strategy coming in this race other than stay the tires as long as I could. And it's starting third. Got on second on that first restart. I was on the outside, not where I wanted to be, but I noticed Griggs was really saving his tires, slowing the car down, so I had to get around him while I could and just take the point and try and save tires as much as I could, try to keep about a second gap to second place. And I don't know, I was getting nervous there towards the end. On that last restart, it almost felt like my tires just sealed over. I just spinning them real bad, and I went up to the top because I figured I couldn't really burn them off much more than they already were. So I was just trying to pedal it, stay off the gas so I won't get too sideways. And lucky I didn't get a caution there towards the end, and just super excited for this one.
So you were just mentioning that you were saving tires as well, and the guys were saving a lot more tires. With that being said, were you surprised that you were able to hold on the lead for as long as possible?
Honestly, not really, because I figured everybody would be saving tires, for the first at least 20, almost 30 laps. So I figured I'd be able to just kind of save tires and keep a steady gap at the same time, because I was looking at the gap behind me. Once again, got down to about a second, I'd give it a little bit more gas and then back off of it some more. But yeah, towards the end, I thought I was going to have a lot more tire than I did, so that definitely made me nervous.
Now, that's interesting you say that, because I made a comment about lap 30, 35. I said to the guys, I go, God, Blake is like being a rabbit out here. I almost looked like you were forcing the guys to go chase you, but you really had a car that was that good though, huh?
Yeah, I mean, honestly felt like we had a 410 motor in this thing all week, but
Amazing.
you don't need to look too closely. You don't need to look at the car too closely, but
Did you hear that? I know you just ducked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, because I know the tire wear is such a huge factor now, and with this being this is the first long distance sprint race I think we've all seen, and much less all be part of. Was it a little bit of an unknown for you, or did you practice a lot during the week, or were you just confident in your ability in the setup?
No, I didn't really practice like running just 40, 50 laps. Like maybe one time this week, and I noticed my tires kind of went away towards the end. I was running the bottom the whole time. But yeah, this isn't really what I expected. I remember thinking back to week 1 when I saved my tires there towards the end, and it caught me by surprise, passing those guys on the high side. And I just figured I had needed to save them as long as I can, and I knew Connor was coming on the top, so I figured I had to get up.
Well, Blake, I got to ask you how you're going to celebrate this one next week at the actual Knoxville Nationals.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to party hard with you guys all week, I guess.
I'll bring the juice boxes, my friend.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll bring the Galens.
Okay.
Take the second chance at the mini nats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if he can sweep next week as well. Blake, we'll finally let you give the shout outs and get Dean excited.
Oh, absolutely. Here we go. Here we go, guys.
Oh yeah, just so many people to thank. I mean, everybody that put this event on, all the sponsors, the Westbrook family, Roger for everything he did all week. Everybody was involved in putting this on and making it what it was. And I got to thank my parents and grandparents for watching all week and supporting. My mom for building the courage up to get in this thing and run ladies' night. She did really well. And I got to thank all the boys down at the Krite Sim Racing team. I don't think those guys fared too well tonight, unfortunately, but they were fast all week. I'm sure they had fun. And yeah, if anybody out here, I know you guys. Yeah, I know you guys are going to be at Knoxville this week, but anybody out there watching that's not going to be at Knoxville, you need something to snack on while you're watching the Nationals, and that's got to be Galen's.
Yep.
You can head over to their website, use code CART,
Yep.
CART, C-A-R-T, check out for 15% off some of their delicious popcorn.
Just popcorn. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I got to thank you guys for putting this on.
In all seriousness, we've all had Galen's. Galen's is the bomb. It is
good.
The bomb. It is.
You guys
Bring some to Slideways.
Don't
Hey,
sleep
man,
on the
I'm-
nuts either. I always tell you guys that. Don't sleep on the nuts.
You guys must see Dean's reaction to the popcorn. He's
Absolutely.
legit losing it. He's legit losing it right now. Blake, congratulations.
Awesome job, Blake.
Enjoy
Congrats,
this one.
man.
Congrats, Blake.
We'll talk to you on Monday, and we'll see you next week in person.
I'll see you in a week's time.
Oh, yeah, sounds good. Thanks, boys.
I'll
Good
see you
job,
down.
man.
I'll see you down in Tech, Blake.
Oh, no.
You paid off them
Hey,
texts,
hey, how
Roger.
does
You paid off the
Galen
texts.
sound, Roger?
Yeah, bring Galen's. It'll pass Tech.
Oh, perfect.
I think he's putting the Galen's butter on tires, and that's what's saving him.
Hey, baby.
Oh man!
What a
Blake
race!
Chapman's gonna
What an
enjoy this
event! What
one.
3 yellows, Roger? You had to be thrilled with that, Roger. What a with a competitive field like that, and that track actually, the 50% was the right thing to do. I mean, they were side by side the whole race.
It was an amazing race. I got to go back and watch it on the broadcast because I was just focusing on the middle. But it was just great racing. Credit to everybody out there. They did just a phenomenal job. I mean, they went 30 laps, I think, caution free. And I heard a rumor that you guys before the race were predicting a caution fest. So I guess they showed you guys up.
See, that was not me. That was
By
not
the way, who predicted Blake Chapman to win?
Well, Dimmer was
Yeah,
going to.
yeah. I was going to.
He
You
stole his
stole it.
thunder.
Well, you were the one that wanted to go last, Dittmer.
When you weren't going to take it, Marty.
If I can just jump in for a sec, guys. A lot of people to thank. All the, like I said earlier, we had 20 volunteers out. It really hit home when I saw all those guys. All those guys play a role in this league, and there was a bunch of guys missing beyond that. So it's just such a phenomenal community that we have. But I just want to give a few shout outs to, Steve King Foundation. If you look at that ad that we were running, you see people that we've actually helped, Brody Sim and Grady Chandler, and that's really gratifying. A great organization. Can't wait to meet them next week in Knoxville. Also, a big shout out to the Westbrook family. They have been so supportive of this event. Mike was such a great guy. He was like, with kids, he was like a Pied Piper, man. He was just, everybody loved him. And it's an honor to do this, to keep his memory alive, because he still has a major impact on people today. And all those little kids, all those little nieces and nephews, they will grow up with a little bit of Mike in them. So just can't thank that family enough for the support over the years. And one last shout out is to my wife. I never mentioned this. My wife, it's not just the racing at night. I mean, it's all the organization in the daytime, and she tolerates that. Now I'm taking off next week for Knoxville, although she's almost celebrating that, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But anyways, it's just wanted to thank her and a load for just allowing me to do all this sort of stuff. So what a great event. It's over. I got to look after, figure out, the payouts and stuff, and what the final number will be. But then it's starting to plan the next one. We got a week 13 event coming back. Hey, and there will be a ladies and a kids race. Those ladies were
The
spectacular.
ladies were awesome. I even watched that, Roger, like 1 in the morning in Quebec in my hotel room. That was awesome.
Yeah, and
it really was.
I'm just looking at the those broadcasts just had that the podium up there, and it's so cool to see that pace truck there, and knowing that Dylan, has been on that podium with with the trophy and a feature win, and it just it all comes home. So it's just a great event. Just can't thank everybody enough, including the broadcast. And I know Marty, you did a lot of prep work, and can't thank you enough for that, buddy.
Definitely appreciate it, Roger. Great job, and congratulations on another successful event.
Kudos to you, Roger, and your staff and everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, and thanks for your motley crew sticking in there too. They're always doing a great job.
Absolutely. All righty. One more thing left to do. Dean, is it time?
Oh, absolutely. He's right here.
Ah, yes.
He's right here.
It's
this is almost as popular as Gallons. There he is.
There he is.
We won't be seeing him for a little bit because I'll be gone.
We won't see him next week.
Yeah.
It's okay. He's in good company with Megan.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he will be. Yep.
So, always a cute one.
He might be mad when you come back, Dean.
Oh, he does. It's the first day he's mad, but then he's like, "Oh, okay, you're back." So he does that first day. Oh my God, he hisses at me and everything.
So that will do it for us here, gang. Before we end tonight, final thoughts, real quick. Brandon, we'll start with you.
Best racing I've ever seen.
Always is.
How do we go three cautions in 50 laps? That's something else. But I don't know what else to say. It's amazing.
Absolutely, Dean.
Well, I think the bottom line is now we have a new king on Coast to Coast. Last season we were talking about Brendan Lacey and Bandybuilt. This is Blake Chapman's sandbox, and we're all playing in it. And I tell you, when he took that lead and how far out he was, I thought, no way in heck is he going to hang on. And yet, Chad did give it a run, but man, Blake is, he sweeps Hometown Heroes that 1 week. He won all 3, and Renegades, he's strong. And then, congrats to him for, taking the Knoxville Nationals. And like Connor Ross with the Westbrook family, I'm sure has a good feeling. But, Blake lives near Knoxville, and he will be at the actual Nationals. So I think this got a really cool feeling for him inside.
Absolutely. What a race. One of the best races I've ever seen in Coast to Coast and at Knoxville.
To everyone, congrats to everybody. What an awesome show. Side by side and 3 yellows on a 50-lap race.
Yes, everybody should be proud of what they did tonight. Great racing here at Knoxville, and another fun one. Now it's on to the next one. So that'll do it for us. Next week as well for Night Madness. The series heads to Eldora Speedway, so you see the sprint cars back in action on Monday night, the night before we head to Knoxville. Start time at 8 p.m. on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. So that will do it for us here, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Kramer, all the fine admins. On behalf of my broadcast partners tonight, Brandon Dittmer, Dean Reynolds, Zach Chapman, Brett Wheeler, I'm Marty Sakala saying so long. Congratulations to Blake Chapman, your Knoxville Nationals champion. So long.